For our Canadian lifters, pure passion, real results, what you put in your body should matter. Pure Vita Labs PVL supplements are clean, tested, and approved, powering athletes for over 25 years. They also power the KOTL podcast. You could trust PVL. Use code KOTL15 for partnership pricing at PVL.com.
On.
Oh,
Wait,
six-pack Lapadat, and we got Joey Flexx.
what up, fellas?
Hot,
Do I
hot
gotta
off.
access something, or are we good to go?
You good? You're good, man.
See me? All right.
We see you.
We,
Hot off
yeah, we were
defeat.
just talking about nominations, fellas.
Well, okay. So Sheffield was absolutely bonkers first off, and your people went off.
Yes,
Jesus Olivares, holy freaking smokes, the
dude.
greatest.
I like. All right, let's roll back. So for that, coming into the meet, just like so you guys know, I I knew that John, like Keiko or Jesus, I said one of them is gonna be like on it, and like I know that like they could threaten Taylor, but I also knew that Taylor, I think he's hit like 830 something, and I knew that if we get that Taylor, like it's just out of reach. Like I would have to push that Jesus deadlift all out. Like it was easy for him, but I was gonna have to push it all the way, and I was ready to do that. But then when I saw where he was after squat, I was like, okay, he must be injured. There's something happening, like whatever it is. And I'm telling the boys, I'm like, lock in, focus up, you know, let's if they're like this is it, like it's gonna come down to execution. Let's just do it. And then once we came into deadlift, I knew we had it. Like I just knew that we had it. Jesus, I think, was already 100% over 100%
Yeah.
coming into deadlift. He absolutely peaked beautifully. Like it was like the top range on bench. Uh, it was like 5 keys less than what we were talking about. Because I did a meeting with Will and Grant. We went to all the lifters' rooms the day before, and we just had a meeting with everyone. We just went over all the numbers. Um, I mean, I literally was like, put whatever you want. Like just for DLF, just put whatever you want. Just hit the 900, get the check mark. I believe that squat record, we'll get it. We'll let it come to us. We don't have to chase it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a position where we could probably save it for a big moment. Um, Save it for a big stage. And maybe take it on a second attempt next year. Who knows? That'd be great. I would love to get that out the way. But honestly, it was an incredible experience. I cannot. It's hard to put it into words, man. It's hard to put it into words. Like I don't know if you felt it because I know you were like in the all the way in the center back on the computer screens. But obviously I was in like the front row next to like Gaston and everybody, and I was like I was living on that front stage. Like
I
I was all over
see.
that shit.
I see videos of you,
I
dude.
was
You
going
were so
crazy,
in the moment. You were so going nuts,
dude.
yelling at the lifters, yelling at the crowd. You like it must have been such a wild
I
feeling.
wanted it so bad. I was like my Arnold where I had my super meet. I had more butterflies for this than I did for that because I was like this thing that we knew about for so long, but it kept getting pushed back because of something always coming up. Like COVID happened, and then we had to wait another year after we opened up, and it was just like all these things. Because it's not just when the U.S. opens up. Like, what if the U.K. is not open up yet? Like, we have to wait for all the airlines to be back up. It was just like such a big thing, and it was something that like Russ was originally, for you guys that don't know, Russ was originally going to do that. I
Yeah,
was only going to have Russ and Amanda do it. I didn't have anybody else at that particular time. And that if that would have happened when it did was supposed to, it could have changed the course of like the history of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like
literally,
everything. Like
it's going to be Russ versus Brett again for the third
oh
time.
my,
They're stuck. For anyone listening, they were stuck one apiece at the World Championships.
yep,
This was the trilogy, which is like
yep.
amazing.
It would have been well because like they see Sheffield and now you got a guy saying okay we want to come over, and I had been doing some groundwork, just like talking to, there's a couple pretty good like young lifters, and I was like, hey, like what do you guys think about PA, like, or what do you guys think about Sheffield? Is that something that you're really interested in, or like just to get feedback, right? Because obviously like I'm constantly bugging SBD constantly about like, you guys should do this. Look at this sick video the UFC did. You guys need to do that. You guys need to do this. I'm just like, I just throw them everything and they'll use what they find is best, right? So the kids were like, yeah, it was amazing. It was incredible. I'd love to work towards that one day. It's a gauntlet. You got to do nationals and you got to do worlds and you got to get picked. And it is that next step. And, um, it is the thing that powerlifting has been missing for so long that I have wanted in the sport. So for it to actually happen, for me to actually be there, dude, I had a little conga line in my section of like kids that like wanted to meet me. Like it was such a great like Europeans are there's people from China there, there's people from Japan, there's people from literally all over the world, and I think that really played into the energy of the crowd because you know how Europeans are with soccer, they're going to go crazy. They're going to just be so into it. Like when there would be red lights, they would be like boo, and then when
Yeah.
the lights wouldn't come on, they would like build anticipation, and it was honestly, it was the greatest powerlifting event I've ever seen in my life. Has just
Well,
put on the greatest powerlifting performers we've ever seen. It is a dream. It is a dream. It is a dream come true. Um, I mean, I could go all day. I could go all day. I don't know if you want me to go through each lifter, like kind of what the plans were, or real quickly, or just want to like talk about it generally. But it was just an incredible thing. It was the pinnacle of what powerlifting is, and it was like every lift was exciting. I don't care what it was. Like everybody was into everything. Seeing, Jade had her little, or is it? I don't know how to say her name like in
Jad.
French, but Zad, yeah, she had her little lollipop, right? And she had her like they had like the little
Wait,
characters.
that's Joy.
Joy,
That's
sorry, Joy had
yeah.
her little lollipop. Um, you know, but Jade was unique in her own right, right? Like every lifter had their little attitude, Delaney does his little like stuff before he lifts,
Yeah.
and afterwards he was like, what was he doing? He was doing some dance after bench, and it was so good. It was so good. It was just and what's really crazy about this meet, and this is something that I don't know. I mean, I think we had it a little bit in USAPL, but let's take UFC for example. The UFC, if you become a champion, you make it. You reach the top. You can use the platform of the UFC to create other opportunities, right? I can tell you, like Keiko got like 20,000 plus followers already from this meet.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
exploded like 40,000 followers from this meet. Um, I mean, it just is all over the place. Like it was 250,000 views within like the first couple days on that live stream, right? That people were taking clips of the lifters and chopping them up and making their own videos, getting hundreds of thousands of views. And that I think is so powerful when you have a platform for the lifters where they can come compete and really get their name out there and create opportunities for themselves, get sponsors, all these different things. I mean, that's something that we've sorely been missing. Um, and this was like I get so excited about the thought of this happening. Like, don't get, I like Sheffield. It was chill. It was like really like I loved it. I really liked it. Like walking around, just seeing all the little shops and stuff. But imagine this in London in a bigger stadium. Imagine this in the U.S. Like how crazy it could be. Like there's so many things. Actually, I'm tired of U.S. Let's go all over the world. Like, let's go to Asia or something. Like U.S. We got enough. We got enough stuff. No, it would be cool in the U.S. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things that like I've dreamt about something like this. You know that me and Russ are very ambitious, and we've always thought about like bigger and better. What's like the next thing? Like, what's the bigger thing? So for this to happen, I'm just happy that SBD was able to pull it off. It was great. And I mean, just real quick to give some shout outs to some Flex boys. I loved all the lifters, by the way. I was like, and the VIP thing after, I was like so happy to finally meet Carlina because I had been a fan of her for a long time, and she's obviously like ridiculously strong. I've known Jessica for a long time, but there's a lot of lifters that I met that one, it's always good to catch up, but two, like I've been a fan of you for so long, and it was really dope to actually come meet you because they're from all over the world. I
Mm.
finally met Panna. I've known about Panna for a
Oh,
long time.
you hadn't met him before?
I hadn't met him before.
No kidding.
I kept sending my henchmen to Worlds. I hadn't been there myself, but I finally met Panna, and it was just It was just dope, man. I just felt like I was in my element. I felt like it was to do this with the team. Like we brought so many people. Like to do this with the team, it was like that is so special. For you to be there, man, somebody who has been a part of my powerlifting journey from the very beginning, from that John Hack Brett Gibbs matchup in 2016, which arguably like from that moment forward, like that set powerlifting on a different trajectory. Like for you to be there and you always cared what I have to say. You always let me use whatever platform you're, running, and for you to be there in that moment and experience that. I mean, it's something that we're gonna have like together like forever. Like we were
Yeah.
there at that first one. Even before the meet, I sent Jessica like 10 minutes of audio, and I was like, I remember when you were a little baby junior in 2016, how skinny you were. Right, she had a big deadlift. I think I don't even remember what it was, but I just
Joey's
remember
had a
her so
big dead,
little.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she was so little in Canada. For those of you listening only, I'm making like a little, like with my fingers, like a little, like a 1 inch with my fingers. And then for her to stick with it and keep pushing and keep battling and to get there, like you got there, like you made it there. You know what I mean? It took, it was like 7 years later. Who
Yeah,
knows? She's
like
probably, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
2016 was our first junior worlds. To your point, like that was all of our first worlds, which is
Yeah, yeah,
cool that we
yeah,
started the same year. And
yeah.
then she won again in Canada, like you said, in
Yeah.
2018. And then for her, to your point, all these years later to still be in the game, still relevant, still made it to Sheffield. So many people have come and gone. As an athlete, for her to
Yeah.
stay in there and stay like she just won world's last worlds. And like, yeah, man, it's tough. It's not easy.
Also, shout out Taylor. Taylor was like the first like person that I met at the Arnold I believe it was 2016. That was my first Arnold. And I didn't even like know him that well. I was just like, you're gonna be my friend. Like I just like put my arm around. I was like, hey man, you look like, because he's wearing this jacket. It was this black like it might have been a windbreaker. I'm not sure, but I just said, and he has the hair, so
Oh
I would
yeah.
always call him Neo. He knows the story. He knows the story. Shout out to Taylor's dad. He was really nice to me and said some really nice things to me that meant a lot. Like his dad knows a lot about powerlifting, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, he listens to the
Like a lot.
podcast, man.
Yeah,
He
he
li-
knows a
he
lot.
he watches the stream. He listens to the podcast. He knows what's up.
He does, and he like just Taylor's just always been there. Like he's the only like, if you look at Russ, obviously everything me and Russ, everything that me and Russ have done together. Holy shit, Joey, slow the fuck down. He was that guy that was one step ahead. Like he had already had another nationals win. He had already won a world championship. You know what I mean? So we were, he's always someone that I have to look at. Like he's at the top and he maintains it. And I watched him battle. I don't know if you remember, um, in the early days, he battled somebody. I don't know if it was
Backlund.
Kajel. Oh no, no, it was,
Shell. So from Norway, first name. Sorry, Backlund. If you're Shell, if you're
yeah.
listening, I think it's Shell. I had him on the podcast as well. 2017, Shell won and beat Taylor. Taylor had
Mhm.
not yet won a world title. 2018, Taylor won. Shell wasn't
Yeah.
there. And then Shell wasn't there, and he was like, "Hey, essentially, you're not the champ unless you beat me." And then 2019, they
They went head
finally
up.
clashed,
Yeah.
and that's when Taylor beat Shell
Yeah.
and really became the
Put a
Taylor
stamp
Atwood.
on it. Yeah.
He became best lifter that year at the World Championships with Russ and Brett.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
taking the podium on the
I
Worlds.
was at that. No, 2019. I was there. We
Yeah,
was in Sweden. Yeah.
and I think Russ and Brett were on the podium for best lifter. I know Brett was, or no, so Russ must have been because he was. I think Russ was two,
Russ
Brett
was
was
Russ.
three
Russ was
for best
there.
lifter.
I think I remember him.
I can't remember if they were
Yeah.
best. Either way,
Wow.
Taylor became the guy
Yeah.
pound for pound. And, so I mean, that's 2019. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, Shell's coming back. He's at this Worlds, the
I
GOAT
know,
Slayer.
man. It's crazy, dude. And also, okay, so just to tie off Sheffield, it was incredible. You guys got to go. Shout out to all the Flex boys that competed. Amanda, insane deadlift. Mikey to battle through what he went through to come there and show up and battle. I like Emil. Every time we fight him, he's just like such a nice guy. He's just a conventional man mode. Like I
Yeah.
don't care what it is. I'm gonna pick it up with my spine. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Keiko with the Giga Bench. Delaney man, amazing performance. So close to getting Russell's record. I know
Dog.
he really wanted that.
Okay,
Um,
listen. I mean, we don't have to necessarily. I don't want to speed right through, but
yeah,
I like how you're doing a recap of these people because
yeah,
that's nice. But okay, one thing, Emil Norling battling Mikey. Emil was super duper vulnerable. He hit 928.5 at Swedish Nationals a month before. So we're
yeah,
thinking, holy smokes, Emil top form gonna be tough.
yeah,
Emil missing those two squats was like, oh my god, he's
yeah.
vulnerable. But
Honestly,
his deadlift always
it's just
comes through
so
for him.
good. It's just always there. Yeah, honestly, one thing I do want to point out, and I don't want to take anything away from anyone, but I do want to point it out because there's a factor. Is like we always got to come to Europe. Like no one ever comes to our time zone, so
Not
it's
yet.
hard.
Not
And
yet. Let's see
Mikey,
what happens.
with Mikey and Keiko, I'm having them bulk up quite a bit, because they just need to be bigger. Especially Keiko. I'm pretty sure him and Gavin are like off season weight is like very different. Um, Delaney, I'm having him a couple pounds. Delaney had feathers on his quads. I
My man
told,
was diced.
yeah, Berto Nunez, who's homies, Eric Helms' homie, of course, OGs in the game. I've known about Eric since before I was powerlifting because he was teaching the bodybuilding keys, right?
Dude, can
Um,
I say something real quick? I
yes,
want to talk about
yes.
Delaney, but I recently have been doing more podcasts with Eric and meeting him. Like we have phone conversations, just straight up talking lately,
Mhm.
and then meeting him at Sheffield, like face to face. I'd met him in 2018 as well at Worlds, but I didn't know him as well. I freaking really like Eric. He's a super
Yeah.
nice, he's charismatic, funny, and really nice guy.
He's got the earring, the little swag earring, right? It's like low key. You don't really see
I
it too,
I
like
really like. He's a. If you meet him, anyone who meets him in real life, like
he's
he
great.
lives up. He lives
He's an
up.
OG. He's an OG. He's really smart. He knows what's good. He puts out a lot of informative content. Um, he released a book in 2016, and I was like one of the people that helped promote it. And so for him to, I don't know if it was 2016, might have been 2018,
I think I
but
remember you talking about that
yeah,
on the
I really,
podcast.
I think so. I think so. I really appreciate him and Berto. Like, I mean, I always like if you put out good content and you're like OG, like generation before me. I mean, I wouldn't like I can't take it and run with it if you didn't, inspire it or start it up. Lane Norton doing the Arnold was what got me into it. Like I was like I
Really?
saw him do it and I was like, oh shit, like that looks sick. Like, cause I already followed Lane from bodybuilding. They come from like that era. And so when I saw him do the Arnold, I was like, oh shit, let me try that. And then I did the Arnold. I ended up doing five of them, and it was great. It was so fun. So shout out to the OGs. You always got to pay homage to those that came before that paved the way. I was telling Russ the other day, I wonder like, are there kids that are like a decade younger than us watching us now that are seeing the things that we're doing and that we're gonna do, and that's gonna like set the stage for something even bigger, like in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like the thought of that, it just like
There,
it
it's
just
wild.
I.
It's already happening where I know. Okay, I know what you mean, but also
Mhm,
I know this happened to you. You've already probably had people who saw you 2016,
mhm.
17, etc., and are now prominent and be like, I
Yeah.
remember. That's
Yes.
how weird is
Do
that,
you
dude?
feel like I feel like we're warming up. Like I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Like we just hit like this pinnacle thing. But I feel like now like we just kicked open a new door and like there's a whole new like realm that powerlifting's about to expand into.
Dog, Sheffield. Okay, for yes, because what I'm hearing for Sheffield number two, number that was number one. Number two is going to destroy number one. I'm already,
Oh my
they
God.
immediately were already talking about improvements. I mean, that night they were like checklisting things and then having meetings to follow. Like it's going to blow apart number two and keep going every year.
Immediately after, I went up to one of the overlords. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, and I was like, "Dog, that was so crazy. That was so good." And he was just like, oh, no, "We could do better. We could do better." I was like, he wasn't even like happy. He was just like, I could do better next time. I could do better next time." So, um, I mean, that was like, that was so stimulating. Like, it was the energy in the room, just hearing people scream, and like your freaking heart is shaking. After Jesus's deadlift, when they turned it good and hit me, like I go to Jesus, I shake his hand, I turn around and there's like Spaniards behind me, and his family is like Jesus' family's right there. I started hugging random people. They were just jumping on me. They took me into the crowd. I didn't even know what the hell was happening. Like everybody was like pushing me, like yeah, let's go. Like it was like I felt like I was at like a sporting event, like when your team scores and everybody goes insane.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that at a powerlifting meet. It was like we were all just so happy to be there, and um, I don't know if we're able to talk about like World Games or Eurosport. Has
Not
anything about that
necessarily
been like
yet.
official yet? Yeah.
We'll talk
There's
about
big stuff coming. There's big stuff
there is
coming.
put it this, yeah, let's just say this. This is what I can say. There are some big stuff coming down the pipeline. So
Yeah.
let's any
I'll
yes,
let them say it like officially, but let's just say like we're just warming up.
this is
I feel like we're
warming
just
up,
warming
man.
up.
Some
So
big stuff is about to
yeah.
happen. Game
Uh,
changing stuff on broadcast side as well
mhm.
as event wise side. And like Sheffield's leveling up, but also like the events and stuff. It's going to be really, really, really big. Like I mean,
Yeah.
really, really, really big. But anyways, and to your point, when you said Lane, you're saying talking about Eric Helms, Lane Norton, also another guy. You meet him, he freaking lives up.
Yeah.
I've had people. He was at PA Nats and he commentated with me. Some people hadn't known him yet face to face, only by reputation. And when he showed up at PA Nats, he was there all weekend. And when he left,
He's
some
competing soon, right?
yeah, because he's doing PA Master Nats and he's going to defend his Master World title because he's currently the IPF
Uh-huh.
World Champion in '93 Masters. And when I had people messaging me saying, "Damn it, I met Lane and freaking he's a
He's four
nice
weeks out.
going on about him." Yeah, yeah.
I think he's
So
4 weeks out.
so they were go about how nice of a guy he is in real life. Some people live up when you meet them. He's like, oh, he'll stop, give you time.
Yeah. I met him at 2015 Olympia or 2014, I'm not sure. And then we actually had lunch at LA Fit Expo one of the years after, who his buddy um Paul, he gave me a lot of like I was just warming up. It must have been 2016 or 2017. He gave me a lot of like business tips and was just like telling me his business model and teaching me things. I like learning from OGs. I really do because they've already done it. They already have, done all that stuff. So I was just and he's not even powerlifting. He's literally just bodybuilding. Like that's all Paul does. He might do some powerlifters, but I'm pretty sure he's primarily bodybuilding. It is cool to see 3DMJ getting into more powerlifting. I
Mm,
mean they're capable. Like I don't, it's there, it's growing. They definitely I know that they have coached powerlifters over the years and they do meets sometimes themselves. So it's just cool, man. I just like seeing that. Like it's like bodybuilding and powerlifting is more like it's more like they're on the same team pretty much. There's slightly different. I mean, one's a sport, one's like more like it's like the judges have to decide that you look better, right?
right.
But I enjoy them, and I think bodybuilders can benefit greatly from working on their comp lifts. There's nothing to me, nothing hits the chest like bench to me. I don't know. I just feel like nothing hits the chest like bench.
And before we veered off, this veering back, talking about 3MJ and Delaney being like having feathers on his legs, like the guy
Yeah,
was diced.
Roberto.
Um, First off, Delaney Wallace, I got to talk about this man. Holy smokes, he came within like 2 inches of locking out that final deadlift and taking Russ's record. Oh my gosh, for a
No
guy
one's ever
like
done that.
Delaney,
No one's
dog,
ever done that.
most people, Delaney went the IPF route, and people don't. I know you understand, but people don't necessarily always understand that when you go to IPF Worlds, you just win. And IPF Worlds isn't where you hit PRs. Matt Gary, who's a legend of all legends,
Yeah.
says straight up, you have 365 days a year. You got one day to be a world champion. This is not the day you go for PRs. And
Yeah.
some people don't realize. So they look at it and they'll be like, Delaney's not going to live back up to the 2021 Nationals total. And Delaney
Beat
had
it.
it, but you got to win. And sometimes you got to win ugly because you're going all over the world, weight
Yeah.
cutting, blah, blah, blah. And finally in Sheffield, he had an opportunity to be like, let me show you I'm up there like I am who I'm say I am. And for him to be 2 inches away from Russel Orhii's 83 kilo, Russell's 83 kilo, like he's the guy that can push Russ right to the very last deadlift. And a lot of people maybe would have looked past that. And I'm glad he had his moment. And he's such a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have Delaney get a little bit bigger, because the cut was like too easy. Uh, But I mean, Russ is also a lot stronger now, dude. Dude, the next time Russ competes, your head's gonna blow up. Like you're gonna be like,
That's
what
why
the
Delaney's
fuck?
got to take that record at
Yes,
Worlds.
Delaney. Um, if the nominations are truthful, then Delaney just needs to stay in the pocket, handle business. We'll lock it in, because he is slightly ahead. Um, the
The
second
thing
place
is,
guy. Go ahead.
Jurens is who we're talking about, is chief opposition. Jurens hit 820.5. My
Mhm.
friend, he had more in the tank, and
Yeah,
Jurens, he's
I like Jurens. I like Jurens.
he's a phenomenal competitor.
After this, I'm gonna have you send me that meet because I want to see
Yeah.
how much he had in the tank. But yeah, Jurens is great. He came up to me at the meet. He said really nice things to me. Um, I like him. He's anytime we get to travel and meet these top competitors, you know, an old anime quote. They say masters, of their discipline, they end in the same place, right? They're gonna end in the same place. So at the top level, you're gonna meet all the best people, and it's just like you can't not respect them. You can't not respect them. Like, my man, you had to win your nationals, you had to battle through whatever, you had to travel out here to compete, and it was super dope. So he's like, that's gonna be good. I don't know where Gruden is. I don't know what's going on. I know he's got probably work and stuff. I'm just looking at the nominations right here.
Yeah, we can. I'll
Um,
pull it up with you right now. So
yeah.
Gruden is a reserve as it stands right now. Let me pull up the gentleman. I got the women here.
Yeah, Ina, of course, he's got the Omega deadlift. You never know.
So let me tell you something. So Enna can pull eight. I mean, damn near 850 last year's Worlds. I mean, he had locked out, but it came out of his hands. Nick Manders from Canada, that's the Canadian champ. He won. So for the Canadian title, he had missed, like, I mean, he had a terrible day in squats, bench. He was missing lifts, and he looked head down, was not his day. And watching the stream, it's like, oh man, Nick's not having a good day. Nick went all in, do or die with his last deadlift, just shy of 800 pounds. And this looked like a Hail Mary, and he nailed it. And he's got that quote that I love, where he's like, look, I don't need the strategic advantage. I pull 800 pounds, huh? And it's like, oh,
Hey,
damn, when you come in like that, I
I see
love
it
it.
right here. 36 weeks ago, I don't need the tactical advantage. I pull 800 pounds.
I love it. And Nick is that guy. He went all in at Worlds, at Junior Worlds, missed. He went all in at Canadian Nats and hit. He goes to Worlds. I mean, he's a little far back from Delaney, sure. But for podium, and it's going to be a battle of the podium, him and Enna are going to be 800 pounds and up on their final pulls. And it's
Yeah, I mean,
breeze.
do you know what he hit at I know Canada had their nationals about 7, 8 weeks ago.
791. Him
Yeah.
and Adam both. So Canada's got 283s in here.
Oh, I've seen him before.
Adam's a phenomenal lifter as well. They both tied at 791, but split it on body weight. Nick is the champ.
We'll go
Canada's
ahead
sending
and
them
give him a
both.
follow. Manders, Team IPF Canada. Shout out.
Dog, he's a
Um,
monster. He's a monster. The 83s are stacked. Edo, who was a previous junior world champion, totaled 800 kilos from Italy. And Edo's going to be there. He'll be 800 kilos and up. Obviously, Delaney Gruden could be 800 kilos and up if he gets in. Germans, obviously 820.5 with
dude,
room to spare.
look at 66 kg.
Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at this.
Jeez.
So 66s, Brian Lee from US,
Yep.
Kyoto from Japan.
He was at Sheffield, yeah. I met
was
him.
at Sheffield, that's
He
right.
was really nice. He was
He's
really
a
nice.
super nice guy. He's trying to grow powerlifting in Japan, and I'm rallying behind
Yes.
him. He
And
speaks
they
English. He's making
and they
English
need me to come
content.
over there and do something. Let me know.
Dog,
I
he's a
already went to
super nice
Korea.
guy. And Kasem San from Thailand. So we have America, Japan, Thailand, all of them 710 and up in kilo
Looking
class.
forth. Looking forth.
Our boy Penna, who has also hit 700 kilos before. I know his total that he has nominated is 787, but he's done more than that.
It's gonna be sneaky.
So we have three guys 710 and up, and then Penna, who's done 700 and won a world title. Like, these guys, the 66s are stacked.
It's 3 kilos between first and third.
And that's 710.
You cannot miss. You cannot miss.
710 and up as 66s.
Yeah,
It's
insane.
Like what is going on right now that this is happening in powerlifting for the
74s? Hold on, we gotta do 74s real quick. Okay,
Because these are
Taylor,
your boys
Taylor, obviously, like it's in his hands. If he gets healthy and he blasts 800, 810, I mean,
That's not going to happen.
got it.
Here's what it is. And I say this, like, obviously I love Taylor, right?
Yeah, of course.
Taylor was injured. And he's got to come in to win. He's not going for 800 or 810.
Yeah.
He's going to be way lower than that. We're talking around Sheffield-ish numbers. He's got to deal. Here's what I'm thinking the battle plan is. This is me speaking, not Taylor speaking. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think Taylor's going to be coming in, trying to win, and then using all of the time from June all the way up to February for just getting injuries gone and being 100% and then murdering. But
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, looking at these fellas, so at Worlds, this is going to be a battle because Taylor.
Okay, so talking about the fellas.
There's our segue.
So Taylor, he's in a tricky spot, right? Because he needs a little bit, he needs time to get healthy. I'm sure his team is going to put together the best plan, and they're going to bring him in as good as they can. And I think for him, like, best case scenario is like, get healthy enough to get the job done, and then you have all that time to just really get super healthy. And then, he's in a great position for the next Sheffield. If they use the same metric for scoring, he is in a phenomenal position because he didn't push the world record total, and he then he can hit like a 8 whatever. Right. We're gonna have to hit even more than what we hit, so that would be good. But I have a feeling no matter what happens with Taylor, they will he's probably still going to get selected because he's just done so much groundwork in the years before. It's like the champ gets a rematch no matter what, right?
The
champ gets a rematch no matter what.
Here's the only problem. Here's the only problem I would say. Things are so crazy competitive, and you have Jesus already got an automatic. Same with Edie for both winning. For anyone listening, if you didn't hear the announcement,
if you win Sheffield, then you get in no matter what.
That's right. So nothing is in. If somebody else wins the 74 World Championship, and we'll talk about those 74s in a second, because two of those fellas are yours, and then Buckland's back. Sir. So if someone else wins, I don't know. It's not for sure. I would say possibly Taylor gets a wild card, but it's too stacked because they need, what if whatever happens at Worlds, look at what they did with Gavin and Kaiko at Sheffield. That rematch was amazing to watch. If something crazy happens at Worlds and they're like, we need to see that again. Look at the 66s. If that's amazing and they're like, we need that.
Honestly, it's possible that all those guys could get in. You never know. They're literally, guys, this is an audition.
Right.
It's an audition. You're auditioning, okay? So show your stuff, everything you got. You know what I'm saying? Just going down the list of the 74s. Of course, with Buckland, we don't know what we're gonna get. I remember him being an OG. He's super strong. Who knows? He might just blast it, right? And then we have Kalmfunga. I'm gonna try to say it's Fan Chun Chia, from China, from
Chinese Taipei.
Taiwan. Yeah, Chinese Taipei. And then we have my man Carl Johansson. Man, I love these guys.
Cali, he's murdering, and he's young too, so his progress is wild.
But they have momentum. That's the thing. They're young right now, and they have momentum, and that's the scary thing. And that's why it's like, oh shit, what are we gonna see? You get what I'm saying?
They're both working with you, or both those gentlemen working with you?
Yes, right. They're both working with me. Carl has been with me a little bit longer than Funga. Funga's doing great though. They love each other. They both got the same haircut. They both freaking watch the same animes. They're literally the best. I love these kids. They're seriously, I can't wait to meet them. I'm flying early to see them. I'm literally flying early so I could sleep and then watch them. I just want them to give it their all. It's going to be an amazing experience. Carl's got that big deadlift, 316. Bachland's got a big deadlift, but Funga's got a huge bench, so it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Let me add a couple more for the 74th. Yeah. So Bachland, he won the world championships, beating Taylor in 2017, came back in 2019, lost to Taylor, took a silver medal, went into the equipped, and 17-time world champion Olek from Poland, who's the GOAT in equipped, and he beat him in equipment and took the 74-kilo equipped title. Bachland, who's an all-time great now. They call him the GOAT Slayer because he beat Taylor and he beat Olek. So the GOAT 74 in Raw, the GOAT 74 in equipment, Bachland back. In Bachland at 100%, he'll be in the late 700s and be an absolute murderer, as well as Tim Monagatti,
He cut
whom
down, right?
he cut down, and now he's a 74. That nomination total, expect him to be way more than that. That was his first 74
What's his
kilo total.
what's
He's
his
hit
height?
8'10, 8'12. What's his height?
Yeah, you know how tall he is?
He's about 5'7". Yeah, I think he's about a couple
Okay.
inches shorter than me. He's
Okay.
about 5'7" ish. And if he can, he has as an 83, he's totaled 8'10, 8'12 around there. I don't expect him to do that, but his
Mm.
top end strength, if he could get this sorted, he's gonna be a threat, as well as Stephen Day from Australia, Paul like Rambo,
Is that how
Joshua
you say it?
Wright.
Rombo?
Well, his nickname is Rambo, and Romboville is
Um,
his last name, but his nickname's
yeah.
Rambo.
Shout out
Joshua
to Big
Wright,
Poe.
Joshua Wright with the strength guys from Germany. All those guys are capable of pushing into, I mean, they're going to put up some monster totals. So let's see what happens, man. It's super stacked.
Let's go down.
I don't know.
Uh,
So Taylor, this is going to be a war. Taylor's not 100%. He's vulnerable and he needs this win. If you like battles, this is very interesting. But Taylor, one thing, he's a dog. If Sheffield showed anything, he can miss a squat, come back and be like, give it hell
Honestly, I
eventually.
think Taylor could probably do like no problem 780, 790, no problem. But we'll see. I
Depends.
mean,
It depends,
we'll
man. Because
see.
Sheffield, if he operates at the same
It's
level
not
as
a lot of
Sheffield,
time. Yeah.
not time. And the injuries aren't going away because he can't let them because he's got to train through them. People are like,
I know it's so fucked.
people say like you're always injured, but Taylor's like, dog, I never have time. Like I don't
Mhm.
have time, and he doesn't have time again. Uh, but
Yeah, I've been in a situation like that where uh I mean, Mikey's kind of in a similar situation. Mikey, like he can train. It's not like anything is like broken. It's just I wish we had a long off season to fix stuff, but we don't have that. We just got to go. So it's like one of those things that you
after
gotta
after Worlds, all these gentlemen,
can
whoever
rest
wins,
up.
will have, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll
Um. So we touched on A3s a little bit. I think Delaney he's gonna have to hit his honestly between him and Kingama they gotta hit their lifts. Um. That's it. It's gonna come down to execution. Looks like Kingamu might pull a little bit more. I think Delaney can pull 340. I mean, it's gonna be nerve wracking. It's gonna be like
Delaney
super
can pull.
close.
They're both,
Yeah.
listen, Germans and Delaney is going to be a freaking amazing battle. And Enaharo, Nick Manders, all these guys, those two with monster deadlifts. You know how they had like Delaney and everyone in the back. Oh my God, for that last pull Enaharo pulled. Enaharo and Nick are both those guys who are going to be, doesn't matter where they're at, it'll be loaded up. And some days they'll pull the world, other days they won't. But it's getting loaded. So the 83s are going to be amazing to watch.
Yes, rolling right into the 93s, we have Jonathan Keiko nominated at 884. But I heard your episode with Eric, and I agree with everything you guys are saying. Um, God, there's like
Look at there's
stuff that I
three.
want to say. I just don't know if I can yet because it's like not my place to say it. It's for Keiko to say it. But let's just say that Keiko's been doing this a long time. Keiko, like Eric said, he probably has like another decade of probably like at his peak. Um, Gavin is younger. I mean, I think you guys can I like Gavin has like that chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? He's got that chip on his shoulder. We battled him for many years. Um, if that third squat goes, I would have to try to find more. I might have had to reach more on Keiko's bench, and then we would have to absolutely max out his deadlift. Like, it would have been a different thing, right? So it's going to be very different. It's going to be very. This is the thing about Keiko. He executes. He executes, right?
Yes, he
And
does.
you could say that Gavin had like just brute strength, like who was able to like hoist more tonnage that day. Um, talking about Sheffield, yeah, Gavin was probably good for like maybe like a 895, something like that, maybe 897, something like that. It would have been really damn close. But I do know that Keiko was like at weight like the day before, like chilling, eating ice cream and stuff. Gavin was like really cutting hard. Um, and that I like that just like John needs to be bigger. That's it. We did change something about his squat. He needs to be bigger. And like John has an opportunity to come out, execute. I mean, if John puts up like a 310, it's gonna be a it's gonna be a good fight. If he puts up a 310 squat, it's gonna be a good fight. But I know Gavin's hungry. I know his coach John Song. I've actually worked on him with him on some injuries. I like him a lot. He's really smart. He's very like practical, and uh he gets it. So it's gonna be really good. I'm excited for that one. And to be honest, I just want to say this, like for any competitor, every time that you compete, I mean with me and Russ, like you know this, every time that you compete, and you as an appreciator of UFC, you know that let's say you win one title, then you win another title, then you win another title, you keep winning them, right? Every time that you compete, you're betting all of it. It's like you're betting all of that. You don't just get to bet one of your titles, you bet all of it, right? And it can be nerve-wracking, and you can have that pressure because you're like, you know, you're betting everything. Like it's going to be a huge thing um to put it on the line and compete. I think if John mentally fights from a place of, hey, I didn't win last year. I got nothing to lose. I'm going all out. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little bit easier mentally than to have that mindset of like you have all this weight, you know what I'm saying? And you're betting it all, and I know what it's like to compete from both perspectives. Like you've been at the top, you're at the top, you're constantly fighting people off of you, and then you got nothing to lose. You're like that underdog, and you're fighting up. Um, and I think certain people do, like Russ elevates at that top. Like he elevates when the pressure's on. Like it's like pressure powers him up. Like that's for Russ. Um, John has already dealt with that pressure for so long. Like he's they're different people. So I think if Keiko adopts the mindset of yo like they're counting me out or something like that, I think that might empower him to really just come into this meet. Like okay, you guys saw him. It was right after COVID. We did a meet, and he had that monster total. It was like 9 something, I think. Like John's training numbers have shown me that he is capable. Like this prep was like it was like way better training numbers than we've ever hit. So I was a little bit surprised by some of the things, and I think that really just comes down to I mean, I just think he was light. I just think he was light. I think we just need to be much bigger. And maybe even like cut later versus getting there when we did. But and I know I'm talking a lot. We have Emil and Gustav. I'll let you break those down. But
Yeah,
obviously
so
they have A80 totals, and that's nothing to like scoff at. Those are
I mean, the
significant.
difference between 1 through 4, Kaiko 884, Emil, Gustav, and Gavin all 880. All three of those, and all of those guys have battled. Emil's won silver medal at the World Championships. Gustav won silver medal at the World Championships. They've all battled Kaiko right to the very last deadlift. And Gavin,
Yeah.
obviously, what I'll
John
see on that
John
Sheffield.
John John has like he's already beaten all these guys, so I don't know if that makes him like I already did that. You know, you can't have that attitude. You gotta be like
No,
you gotta be
no.
nah, you
It's
can't have
four.
that
It's
attitude. Yeah.
there's four. It's true. Like John is the guy. Like he beat all those guys a couple
Yeah.
times over. However, four kilos separates them.
Yeah.
Like it's so close and so
I
good.
know it. I know it sounds crazy. You guys might hear this and be like, "What the fuck, Joey? You're insane." I know John could do 907. I know it. I know it, man. I've seen it. I got the math for it. But we just got to bring it together. That's the thing. And with Delaney too, it's been hard because everybody cuts different. Me and Russ have a cut that I wouldn't recommend anyone do that cut. Don't cut like that. That's how we do it, right? With with John and Delaney, I delegate their nutrition to somebody else to bring them in. So it's been like some troubleshooting to get it better, to get it better, to get it better, to get it better. And I already talked to John's nutritionist. Shout out to Fam, and I said, "Hey, I want him to be heavy as possible. I want him to be as heavy as possible to make the cut. I know it's going to be like bleeding edge type stuff. This is the thing too. I was going to do a video on this on my channel, but powerlifting is getting a lot more serious, right? As a team, we took home 87 grand. Okay, as a team, I was a lot of flex boys at Sheffield, right? There's 5 of them. 87 grand. That's good. That's good money. Okay,
That's good
that's good
money.
money. And then Amanda and Jesus got a big chunk of that, right? That's good money. That's only going to get bigger, in my opinion. I think it's only going to get bigger, and people are going to start to have the resources to. I love delegation. Oh, Russ, you got a PT in your area? Cool. Let's delegate this little knickknack to him to handle that. Oh, we need a nutritionist. I'm going to talk to him, and that way I can. It's like if I'm running a football team and I'm the head coach, I have my offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and I'm going to delegate to them what I want, and then they're going to delegate that to their assistant coaches. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that way you have this machine. Everybody's doing their part. I know what I'm good at. I'm a promoter. I'm a freaking coach. I do what I do. I'm my programming, all that. But there's other things I really like to delegate that to those specialists and these top lifters. Like John, like it's not just one coach. It's more than one. You know what I'm saying? It's usually more than one. Um, Jesus and Amanda, we're chilling right now with just me, but we might need if we need to bring nutritionists in and do all that, we will. If it arises for it, but it's super heavyweight. It's a different approach versus when you have to stay in that weight class. So I just really know that these guys are going to bring everything. I know that they're going to lock in. No stone unturned is the mentality. I know Gavin's coach likes to say burn your ships. I think that's another good one. I think if John comes into this with I know he watches One Piece, you got to burn those ships and just it's like pirates, like a pirate show. It's like you just gotta burn it all down, man. Just burn it all down. I see Bryce is in there as a reserve.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that
he's
would be
actually
amazing.
making the trip, but I know that. I mean, you can't count Bryce out. I know Eric said that they're gonna tweak some things, and he was gonna come in there. So, I'm gonna be very stressed out on the 83 day, the 74 day, and the 93 day, and the 105 day. I'm just gonna stress out. It's just a stress meet for me. I'm just tripping the whole time. So,
Yeah, the 105s, because talking about the 105s, nice little segue there. So obviously
yeah.
Emil Norling is back. Emil Norling severely hurt himself at Sheffield. He
Did
missed
he?
his second and third squad.
Adductor. He told me it was adductor. That's right.
That's right. And I saw him at the banquet. We were walking around and he was walking funny. He was
Got a little
banged
limp.
up.
Yeah.
It was bad. It's a quick turnaround. I don't know if he's going to be 100% or maybe he's got that superhuman healing powers because these guys are the elite of the elites, right? If he's 100%, great. However, Anatoly Novopismani is back. Now, this is the 2021
He
world's best
squatted
lifter,
804 like a joke like
like
two
a
weeks
joke,
ago.
like a
Yeah.
joke at Ukrainian nationals.
Yeah.
That's 365 for a European
And
friend.
it's not on here. It's not on here. Like they have him
No,
at 350, so he would be 320 just with that lift alone. I don't know what he benched. I know that he's capable of benching over 220. I know that I've seen it.
yeah,
I've
oh yeah.
literally
No,
seen it.
he'll bench in the 500. So he can, if Anatoly is at, like if he's PRing, because he previously has hit 937.5. If he's PRing, he'll be in the
I mean,
940s, 950,
yeah.
whatever. I don't know if he PR'd on squat. I know that. I don't know his other lifts though that he hit that
Yeah.
day. But Anatoly Novopismani, world's 2021 best lifter, is full well capable of winning best lifter this year too if he's at 100%, especially if Taylor's not at 100%, which he won't be. And Anatoly is going to be somebody everyone's going to watch. But the 105s with obviously Michael Davis, we got Mo.
Muhammad Abdullah, I remember him from 2016. I actually have a video of him. No, different one, Tina. Different one. He's a 105. He's from Libya. That was Tina in the background.
She's a
It's
young
this guy.
Jamie. She's a
She's
young
young,
Jamie.
she's young Jamie. Tina's young Jamie. It's this guy. I have a video of him at 2016 Worlds. Um, I believe, yeah, and he's going out for Dallas, and he's like, and he was just going crazy. I'll send you the video after this, but
So is this
I
total legit? Because some of these Libyan totals, you never know.
I mean, it has him. It has him. If you click on his profile, they have him in 2022. He hit 885, but I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they're messing with our heads. All I know is, Anatoly has the answer to the test. He could, he
He's a
could,
problem.
if he locks in. I mean, he could go like 370, 235, fucking 365, like some crazy shit. So
He,
I don't know. I love watching compete. He's a demon. Um, Mikey, like we're gonna bring our very best to this. I have him in a surplus, But again, he's one of those guys that I need time. I want time to heal some little things, and we don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, it's gonna be, um, we got to make a case, man. It's an audition. Like I said, it's an audition. We gotta, we gotta give it our all. We gotta, full send and
Amongst these other 305. So Mo is back from the UK, who was also at Sheffield, obviously. He's on there as
he's
a
so
double.
fun. I love that guy. I love that guy.
He's
He's the best. He's
he's
the
a
best.
super nice guy. Yeah,
He gets the crowd. He gets the crowd in it.
100%.
Yeah.
He's got a monster deadlift. He had a tough cut at Sheffield, still hit 900 kilos. Coco Clement, Coco from France, the junior
Where is
world
he?
champion.
Number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's back and he's capable as well. He hasn't pulled it together. Like
Yes.
his 895, he hit that 2 years ago at 2021. He's kind of like in the same position that Delaney was, where Delaney in 2021 hit 822 and a half and then never fully realized his potential until Sheffield and people started doubting. Coco's kind of like that. At like 19 or 20, he hit 895 as a junior at Worlds. 895. It's been 2 years and he still hasn't surpassed that. He's capable. He just hasn't pulled it together. So he's like Delaney, where like when he does, he's going to surprise people. But people in the know in France would be like, no, we expected, just like you guys expected it from Delaney.
I mean, he's got that like super duper duper low bar. Like he's strong, man. I know because my kids always show me him. Like my kids in his weight class always show me him. And hey man, we just gotta go A for 8 and then see what the numbers are. And I'm gonna tell Mike Z like, yo man, I think Mikey can hit this. Let's see what they do, and that's it. And we know that the big puller, they're gonna lie and wait like a trap.
Speaking of big pullers, let me also give a shout. So Christopher Acosta Tapia from Canada, he's pulled 375.5, which is really close to Emil Norling, who's a monster puller. But Chris Tapia, he's only been powerlifting 18 months, and the amount of kilos he's put on his total and the amount of kilos you can expect him to put on his total again by the time the World Championships rolls around. His deadlift it's going to be.
I've been hearing about him. You
don't want to sleep on that guy.
He's coming up. Yeah, I think
18 months. It's crazy what he's done.
Dude, it's going to be, if he gets that bench up a little bit, he's going to be
his
right in there.
His numbers are flying right now. Yeah. In his deadlift, though, in terms of, he's a guy that if he's close enough by the time deadlift rolls around, they're going to full send it and take someone's medal. And people who are on the podium but missed a little bit because they were, pushing themselves and squatting bench, that's where surprises happen. A guy like Chris.
I just want to give a shout out because I recognize the names. Stroob Jochen, number 21 from Belgium. He's been working with me for quite a bit. He actually just came back within the last year. What's going on, man? It's going to be nice to meet you. Dude, that's the thing about this event. We get to meet everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like what you were saying, like imagine being there and just meeting everybody throughout the week. The only thing that's weird about Worlds is that it's so spread out. So like everybody's going to be coming at different times. Well, I mean, I'll be there, all of it. Yeah. So,
well, for the 74s, 33 lifters, 83, 46 lifters, 93, 54 lifters. Joey,
why is this one so big?
I don't know if it's the Sheffield effect or we had since COVID last year. I think Sheffield has people rallied up and everybody in their mother is
get
excited.
There,
yeah. And it's not just like you have to win to go to Sheffield, but just the excitement of it makes powerlifting hot again. For a lot of people, if you're on the fence, well, I'm back.
Roll me into the 120s. You're gonna have to educate me on this one because I don't know none of these fellas. I know Tony Cliff. That's it.
Okay, so anyways, Tony Cliff, obviously a world champion in his own right. He was there when you were there in 2019. A phenomenal lifter, a wily veteran who's been around forever, in and out of equipment. 955.5. Tony Cliff is peaking right now, despite being that wily veteran, but he's coming. Look at 3 Brits in a row. Now, Kieran Gray, who's a reserve in 3rd, he's won the European Championships, a solid lifter, but pay attention to Dylan, signed from
big deadlift,
Germany, 385.5. Absolutely monstrous deadlift and has the capabilities of more. Pay attention to Indy, I think is his nickname. They call him. He is full well capable.
Do you have Instagram?
Yeah, he's on Instagram, and he was on the Sabato
You guys
Boys
send them to me.
podcast.
Yeah.
I met him at Sheffield. My man sounds like his voice sounds straight out of like 500 years ago Vikings. He's got the beard. He lives up. He's larger than life character. Legitimately, he's a massive man. But character wise, I got him out on the podcast at some point. But a
Did you see?
crazy huge deadlifter.
Did you see? Since we're talking about 120, did you see Big Dennis squatting 770 for 5 in his garage? Let's see.
All
Let's
I'm
see, man.
saying, all I'm saying,
All
my
I'm
man.
saying. Maybe he saw Sheffield and was like, I gotta get back into it.
Let me break out the
Hey,
singlet.
man.
If
I don't
Dennis comes
know.
back, be still
Because
my
right
heart.
now, Rondell's in a weird situation. There might be a window for. I talked to Rondell this weekend, and I was like, "Man, you got to figure it out. You got to get over here. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, he belongs at that meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just one of those guys that, like, I don't know what politics or what's happening with his countries. Live for somebody. Live for us. Do something. Just
Uh,
figure it out.
Canada and US are going to vie for him. We'll see who gets it. It'll be like a bidding.
Really,
It'll be a bidding war.
really.
We'll put him up in an apartment.
Yeah.
Put him in a condo, and then it'll
Come
be
to the
like
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Rolling
Also,
into the. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
just want to also say Nicolas Perrault, who won a junior world title. He's back from France. He was injured for an 895. Expect his total to be a lot bigger than that. He's with the strength guys. Yeah, there's a lot of good lifters there in the 120s, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But the big ones, obviously, Tony Clifford turning in Indy with the monster deadlift
Hey,
and
man,
capable
I'm
of
all there
more.
for big lifts.
And
That'll be good.
listen, Indy when he lifts too is crazy exciting. Like he gets his energy when it's a platform. He's a madman. So I can't wait to see him in
I'm
real life.
gonna. I'm gonna. I want to see the schedule real quick. I have it on my phone somewhere, but rolling into the super heavyweights,
Yes.
Jesus obviously is up by 140 keys. The goal with him is literally just to like, uh, I mean, if he wants to push something, we can, but I am kind of already in that stay healthy mode for him. We're gonna, we'll probably take a chill 1,000 something, on squat. Bench is not really a problem to push. Um, I'll talk to him on what he wants to do on deadlift, but that's really the goal with him. It's just stay healthy. Um, I feel like for Sheffield, the other supers are really gonna have to show something, and
Well,
maybe a little bit helpful or interesting, or I don't know, for the audience. Do you know what's going on with Ray?
all right. So I can tell you this, Ray. I think Ray's going to target North American Championships, which is a regional event, has possibility for wild card because of it's a regional. And we'll see what happens because his injuries he sustained leading
Oh,
into PA
okay.
Nats
I know what you
were
mean.
bad.
He could do NAPF,
That's
and
right.
that if he balls out at that one, maybe he puts up an 11 something, then maybe they'll say, okay, let's bring him over.
It's
And
better to go to Worlds, but he's so injured. Like
is he?
well, because he was on the podcast talking about like when on PA Nats, his last deadlift, it was like he was like a corkscrew coming out of the ground, the way he's twisting up to lock out.
Mm,
You could tell he was on one leg hurt. He had still total 1,000 kilos, but he's capable of more. It's just he needs these injuries to go away. So North Americans is later than Worlds. He'll have an extra 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is. I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks extra, which is a lot more recovery time. See what he could do. If he totally murders it and warrants a wild card, amazing. Who
that's an
knows?
easy sell, man. That's an easy sell.
Let's see
That's
what,
an easy sell.
especially if he murders it,
Yeah, because he'll have time. He'll have time, and I know Jesus wants that fight. I know he does.
it'll
So
come. It'll come at some point.
it'll be. It has to. I mean, it's unless pops off, or one of these guys pops off, or Rondell says, "Screw it, I'm not cutting.
Well, let me tell you about
I'm
Timur
gaining.
real
I'm gonna
quick.
gain weight."
Let me tell you about Timur from Georgia real quick. He won he's the junior world champion. He's nominated second. He's got a 385.5 kilo deadlift and he's got more in him. He squatted 403.5. So he's squatting over 400 kilos. Timur's a monster himself and he's young, man. Born in 2001. Like he's a
Yeah,
kid. He's
junior, right?
he's a
Yeah,
junior. As young as Jesus is, he's a few years younger than Jesus. So he might. It's probably too early for him to press Jesus,
Yeah.
but Timur is
He's a big
capable.
fella. He's a big fella.
Give him a year or two, he's going to be a problem. And obviously, Kochak from Turkey could deadlift over 400 kilos, and God knows what he's going to load up. Elias, if he
How
makes
do
it,
when did they get these headshots for the profiles? Like who does these headshots?
some of them old. I haven't clicked on all of them.
No, they're good. It's just like when I don't ever remember them doing this.
Yeah. Well,
Every lifter has like a little profile. They got their headshot. They got all that. So
for Team Canada, I remember sending one in. No, like a
yeah,
long time ago, but I was on it. But yeah, man, it's a stock class, and in the 59 kilo class, Wasker,
yes,
I
I was
think
gonna say we gotta go back to the 59s because we didn't hit them.
we weren't planning on doing a
Yeah,
division by division. That's why we just
yeah,
started talking. And then,
yeah,
but America's got one. Unfortunately, Fedoshenko's not going to be back. But
yeah,
Wasker, Franklin Lyon. I mean, it's going to be good, man. It's there's a lot of nations here.
yeah. I think I mean if we're just going on nominations, obviously, Wasker just has to like stay in the lead, and it looks like he has a big deadlift, so he could just
A monster
hit
deadlift.
your lifts. See, we call it me and the boys we call it answer to the test, right? When you have a big deadlift, it's called having answer to the test because you know what number you're gonna have to put in.
Right.
You just let everybody else go, and then when it's your turn, you just load it up, secure it, and that's honestly, man. Let me tell you, I hate when it's so annoying when I'm coaching and like we're not the big deadlifter because then you're just like you never know what can happen when you put it in somebody's hands and you say, if you lift this weight, you win.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never like that just sends them into overload, like overdrive. They pull out, they might do something that they're not capable of. And um, deadlifts is it's just such a good thing to have, honestly. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be the best worlds. We were just talking that I mean, I remember like 2016, it was like such a simple venue and such a simple place. And now we're on a freaking island,
Well,
off of Italy. Like it's
the
going to be
pictures and
insane.
videos that Malta looks like, it's freaking amazing. Yeah, I'm
We get
crazy
to do
excited.
this, man. We get to do this.
It
This is
it
what
if
we do.
This is what we do. And if we quickly rip through the women's, and then I want to go to
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
fallout. I also want to talk to you about
yeah.
the fallout of Sheffield and how some people might be coming over there to PA and IPF, etc. But yeah, Tiffany Chapon, Turbo Tiff, obviously in the 47s. But we got Jessica is like well ahead. But Jessica Espinal from the US, Heather Connor from the US, Jessica with a
These girls are
4:1:25.
juniors, right? Jessica's a junior.
Jessica is a junior. That's right. And Tiffany Chapon
Tiffany's
as
also
well
a
as a
junior.
junior. That's right.
I met her. She is so little. She's so tiny. She has really big quads, but she's so tiny.
She's
She's like
jacked, but
so.
I know what you
Yes.
mean. Like she's
She's
jacked, but
like
she's
she's like small but
small,
explosive.
compact jacked. Like it's
Yes.
difficult to explain. It's hard to be big and small at the same
Pure
time. But
muscle. Pure
yeah, yeah.
muscle. Um, I
But
mean, 47 to me is a crazy like weight. Like that's so it's such a small person, human. It's a tiny human.
well, if you like the
You know what I mean?
47s, dog, check out the 52s because Evie Corrigan,
Oh, Evie, man.
Sheffield's champ, is
You know
back.
what's fucking crazy? Obviously, Evie stole the show, but Noemi was right there.
Yeah, she was. People forget that because Evie won, and hats off. She won overall, not just that battle. But
And
Noemi's 6 kilos behind.
these totals are like not like if you would have told me these would be the 52 kg totals, of even 2018, 2017, and then to see that much of an increase, it's like, what the heck? Although you could argue in some of the men's weight class, like 83s have just been going up, 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 up. 93s, same thing. So
But dude,
it's just insane. It's insane.
460 and 452 at the 52s. They are so far ahead of the rest of the world. It's crazy.
But that's the thing. She's so dialed in. Her nutrition that was like so key to have that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. When you get to this level, man, you have to have everything locked in. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Maybe you could skirt through your nationals or something, but when you get to this level, like she has a team behind her. It's not just her and one coach. It's like there's got a guy that does this, you got a guy that does
Right.
this, you got a guy that does this. Literally PT, nutritionist, coach. Like
And game day too. Some people
yes,
bring in
meet day.
game day
Yeah.
as well. Like it's a team. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
It's a lot that comes into it, and like her performance is just an example of like when you get to that level, and powerlifting previously we never had that. Back in the old days, you show up at the meet, you might be by yourself, or you have like your coach, and that's it, like a
yeah.
handler, that's it. But it's getting crazy. So 57s,
Yeah,
break it down from me.
I'll
Go
say
ahead, go
real
ahead, go
quick. So
ahead.
Plyn Deckers from Netherlands, a monster squatter. Megan Lee Smith from New Zealand and Seka from Serbia. All of them monsters. All of them have medaled internationally and threats for the podium. It's going to be a freaking bloodbath. And even Farhana from Singapore, who works with Penna, who's broken the world record deadlift with a 202. Man, she's like, it's crazy all the way stacked. We're not going to go deep dive into it, but 57's
Yeah,
been Jad Jacob from France
France.
rematching. Actually, no, sorry. Joey's moving up to 63s, but Natalie Richards from US, Bobby Butters returns. Andy Riley representing US Virgin Islands is back
I
as
remember
well.
her. I remember her.
It's again the 57s is stacked. The real big battle now in 57s. We have a new contender in Natalie Richards who's crossed over from USAPL to PA, and her and Jad Jacob are both have totaled over 500 kilos as 57s, and they're going to do battle. And we have a
Yep,
brand new
Jay's
rivalry.
Jay's got the looks like 10 keys on deck. Honestly though, I'm pretty sure Natalie, she's what, 1998. Yeah, I mean they're both super young. I think they're both gonna beat these totals that I'm seeing here. And I mean, I'm excited to see what Natalie does. It's the girls, man, when they really lock in, it means so much to them and they just put their heart into it. And the thing is though, like I always tell my girls, like the French girls are crazy. Like they're
Yeah.
so like legit just 57s at the top of the list, France. 52s, top two, France, New Zealand. 47, France. Like I got little Sam in the works. We're working her up. Sam's gonna be there soon.
Yeah.
So it's
You
like
got
one
some
of those
French
things.
shooters now too. You've
Yeah,
infiltrated
man.
France.
I've infiltrated France, so it's one of those things that
You got yourself a French woman because they're so good, man.
they're so good, man. And they're passionate and they work really hard. And I feel like the food is just better there. Like this is
Oh,
healthier.
no question, dog. If I lived in France, I'd be a 105. You kidding
There
me?
you go.
I'd
There
be
you go. What are we,
the
63s now? You got to break this down
63s
for me.
back to back Carolina Italians, Gara and Chiara. So Chiara, former junior world champion, now in the Open, was in the Worlds at South Africa, and Gara now returns. Gara, the former world champion in 63s and world record holder, Leah Bavois moving up to the 69-kilo class, as well as they'll be met on the platform by America's own Megan Scanlon, returning world champion who beat out Chiara at last year's Worlds, and Joy Namani, who's moving up in Britain, a bit of a 1-2 punch. Melissa Hexter, who is a previous European champion, returns, and she had a battle with Joy in the 63-kilo class if you look at these nominated totals, just being edged out by Joy Namani. So, but we know Joy can total over 500 kilos because she did at Sheffield. So
Look at that
Joy
deadlift.
Namani's capable and got a monster deadlift. So she's now that she's wearing a belt and she's finally put the belt on. And let's see if she wears a belt now. She's a 63. But I mean, yeah, man, the 63s are freaking stacked as well. Again, we won't do
Yeah,
like a
it's
super
dude,
intensive
these
preview,
Italian
but
girls, I've never seen them before.
you've seen Gara. 2019, she won. You were
Um,
there, and
Gara's a cool name.
against she beat Sam Calhoun and she beat Leah Babwa. And then Leah's been chasing her for a little while, and they finally met again at Arnold, UK. So you've seen it, you just forgot, but you were there. But Gara's back. Gara's won also in equipped as well as classic. So she's been world game. She's a monster.
Yeah,
Speaking of
it's gonna be
Leah,
good. It's gonna be good. Leah, 69 kg coming in with the. I don't know if this is her most up to date total, but it looks like there's a chip on that deadlift. I mean, Leah's Leah, man. She's lit. She's got the hair. She's got the passion. It's always fun when she comes out and competes. Um, She's going against. Do you know what Chandler Babs' best total is?
So Chandler, I think that might be her best total. It's around there anyways.
535. Okay.
Yeah, Chandler's got a monster deadlift. She could load it up. She didn't have the Sheffield she wanted, but Chandler at 100% is going to do some damage.
Uh-huh.
Mart Jenner from Norway is obviously she's done 542.5. She's kind of hot cold. Sometimes like
Uh-huh.
if she's on, she's
It's gonna
seven
be
and a half.
money. Yeah.
She's 7.5 kilo away from 550, and all of a sudden Leah's got to be full send Leah. Now full send Leah is not 548. Like you said, that nomination, that's not her top end. Leah's done
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah.
But look at Leah could have a battle with these ladies. Leah at 100% is Leah. Leah's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I hope she's healthy too. I know she was dealing with something with her back, I think. I'm not sure, but she's, I know Ben works with her. I believe he just joined with TSG over the last couple of years. I've known Ben for a long time. He's an OG. He was at my first nationals ever. He's really, 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 really smart. And he's one of the people that when I was at Sheffield, I was like, man, I've known you for 8 years, and like you're here. You know what I mean? That's why it's
Yeah.
like it was just so cool to say that you made it here, man. Somehow, I don't know what you do in all these years, but you made it
It,
here.
it's cool
And
when you beat like OGs you've known forever. When you go to international
yes,
competition, that's what happens.
yeah,
People from
it's
all over the world end up being there.
yes. Shout out Chelsea Savitt from USA. Um, I mean, I feel like she's just a tank. You never know what she's
Her
gonna do.
bench, she won bench gold, and she looks like she's the favorite to win bench gold again. She's got a monster bench press. So
Yep, she's the highest bench
yeah,
nominated.
highest
There's one other girl that has a decent bench too, but it's gonna be good. I'm excited to see what she does. And then I just want to give a shout out to Clara because she competed against Sam and she's very, very young and she has a lot of potential. I just want to say shout out to Clara because I remember her name. I don't know why her last name stands out to me so much.
her and
From
Nico in the 120s is her brother, and they're both TSG coaches as well as international.
mm,
They've both won junior worlds. They've both like they're young as hell, but they've won junior worlds and stuff. So they haven't peaked in the open yet. They're kind of like Sam, where they're
yeah,
like
still,
you were saying,
still,
Sam will be a
gotcha,
killer.
yeah,
They're like baby killers, if you will. And
baby
I
killers.
say baby, Nico's massive, by the way.
He's a lot. He's a big fella.
He's huge,
All
but
right. I think it's one of my favorite class. It's got to be probably no, hold on. For this year, obviously my favorite class is going to be 84 because Amanda and the Super because
yeah,
Sonita. But I'm a I've been such a big fan of Carlina. Look at that total. Look at the say it, Ryan. Look at that total.
600 in the
Look at that. That's so
76s.
crazy. Is she the first? Is she the first to ever
She's the
do that?
first to ever do it, the 76s, and winning the
She hasn't
battle,
been lifting that long. She hasn't been
winning.
lifting that long.
She won the battle of the 76s at Sheffield against reigning world champion Jessica Bittner and equipped world champion. I got the Shitco, but we got to run it back, and it's going to be a good back. Kimberly Walford returns, and she was in the Masters. Now she returns in the Open. Sophia Ellis, Dana McNeil from the U.S., and Vilma Olsen, who had won the Junior World Championships. 76s is pretty stacked. Carlina had said, I remember she reposted, I forget what I posted. She reposted, she'd missed her thirds in that world. She's coming for all of her thirds. So
Yeah.
what does that give her? 600 plus, hopefully. I mean, we'll see how far she could push it.
I
Jessica,
mean, she's got a crazy big squat and she could fight a squat. She could fight through the squat. Her bench is very solid. And I mean, I mean, if this is like what it's gonna be, then like she probably doesn't even need a third deadlift, to be honest. Like
yeah, it'll
if
be,
it's gonna be like that. But you know, Jessica, you never want to count her out. She's got a big deadlift too. Just as the OG, man. I don't know what else to say. She's fun to watch. She can grind as well. She's really consistent. Um, she is tall,
she
and
is.
I wonder if she's considering coming up.
She is. She's
Um,
going to. She said she's going to.
yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
fun because it will make people look at the 84s
Yeah. We
more.
need a battle. So we'll move on to 84s. I'll say real because it's not a full on preview show. We got other stuff to talk about as well. But I just want to say,
Mhm.
so Agatha was injured at Sheffield, so she's going to be back up. Jessica's nominated total here. Both Agatha and Jess, their totals are heavier than their nominated totals. So 76 is still going to be super entertaining to watch. And the
I think
84s,
Jessica could bench more than that. I
well,
also think
Jessica's
she could
hit.
squat more than that.
Yeah, and she could deadlift more than that as well. All
Yeah,
of
so
these
we already
numbers
know
are
that.
down. They're going to do more. So Worlds is going to be a great fight, and 84's Amanda Lawrence.
Jessica's picture has it's like she's she's just look at it. Just look at it.
Let
She's
me
just
take a
glammed
look at
out.
Jess's
She's
picture.
glammed out. I was not expecting that.
Oh my God! What? Jessica looks like she's on the cover of a teen magazine.
I'm like, what the
What?
heck?
Look, anyone watch this? Look at Jessica Bittner's good lift profile picture.
I was
What
not
the
expecting
hell,
that.
man? This look like this is like she's got an
She had
agent.
the curls done. She had the curls done. You
She,
already know for the 84s. You already know when Jessica comes up, that'll be lit. They're gonna be freaking fighting each other on deadlifts for sure. And I think Jessica's bench will come up a lot.
it,
And
it's just
squat too. I mean, it's gonna be sick, dude. Hold on. Here's the thing: is Jessica gonna sit at like 88 keys and then cut? Cause she could cut. She could be like 90 keys. Can
she
you
can cut like
imagine?
crazy. She
Could
can
you
cut like
imagine a 90 keys Jessica cutting to 84? Oh my God, brother, that's gonna be. We're gonna have to hit our lifts. But yeah, Amanda, just keeping her healthy. Not doing anything crazy. I think like her deadlift, like I remember I was telling the boys like, yo, she's gotta have to pull this. Well, Grant was running the numbers. He's like the math guy. I'm texting him like, guys, like this is like we could reach for this, but like I don't know. I feel like let's go lower. And Grant's like, I got it. So we lower the number, but he's like, I don't know if she has it. And I'm like, well, fuck, like, what are we gonna do? And honestly, with the women, they were so close. It was like 100% 0.01, 100%
yeah.
0.02, 100. It was right. So we're like, okay, if we miss, it's like not that much difference, like money wise. And we already had taken the deadlift record, so we got that money. But Amanda, like when she just doesn't quit. Like she holds onto the bar, she fights it all the way through. Um, and she locked out. I was like five, like in pounds, I think it was like 591 something. Like it was just
That's
insane. Like what
crazy.
are we doing, man? What are these girls' numbers? But
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
talking about monster deadlift. So first off, yeah, 84 is obviously Amanda's going to show out, and everyone's interested in what she's going to pull up. But talking about the 84 pluses, if you like deadlifts,
Ooh.
Natalie from Australia. So I know it says 255. Natalie actually pulled two. I think she pulled it was at 600 pounds at the nationals. She's so 84s, obviously Bonica Brown returns from Sheffield, the current, world champion, world record holder, etc. But Sonita from Belgium,
Dude,
obviously
she's
coached
already
by yourself.
squatted 285. Okay.
She's
She's
a
already squatted 285.
she's a monster. Emily Mergier, obviously France is gonna have a shooter in there. Brittany Schlater from Canada, but Natalie from even Australia down in eighth. That's an old total. She's gonna be way more than that. And she could deadlift
Someone's
into the
breaking 700.
600s. She
Someone's breaking
could
700
she,
kg
quite
for sure.
possibly. I hope so, man.
No,
I
no,
hope
no.
so.
I'm telling you, okay. I will be very surprised if someone doesn't break 700.
Did
Especially because what happened? What
Alexis
happened?
Jones hits it at
Yeah, she hit
701?
700, but I'm pretty
First
sure
woman.
like if I max out, I mean she's already hit the 285 squat. I mean, like I said, I have insights as Sunita's training. I know she can beat this, but we got to get it done on the day. It's like training is one thing, but you got to go out there, you got to compete. She's usually very consistent. Brittany Slater, let me
She
see.
won worlds
I mean,
in 2021. Canadian. I mean, we'll see what she
I
does.
mean,
She's a gamer as well.
based on nominations, I mean, it looks exciting. I think it's gonna be, dude, it's getting deeper, it's getting tighter, it's getting more like just the matchups are like you miss one lift. Like whether you want to or not, you're gonna have to go 9 for 9 eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come down to that. So it's stressful, but at the same time, this is why we do it. This is why we do it.
For an
So
international competition, 259 men, 190 women, 448 lifters in the open. And these divisions are absolutely stacked at these world championships. So I wanted to ask you, Sheffield happened. You tagged
Yes.
me, you tagged IPF, and there's a picture of Russ, a phone call with Russ, and I'm sure he's not the only one that like of your lifters. And some other people have now said, they've tagged, they started tagging IPF. There's talk of like Austin Perkins and like
Yeah, I think one girl just announced it.
Celine the Machine. But
Yes.
there's obviously if Russ comes, Brendan Petrie's going to come, and how many others are going to come?
Yeah.
Like
No,
just
so
because.
you want me to explain that? Is that what you were
Okay.
asking me?
Well,
So,
what you can, anyways.
no, I mean that's the plan, but we have to jump through some hoops. So, like, we'll do this nationals, and then after that, like, he has to immediately like be reinstated, and then I think he has to do some time where he's reinstated, and then after that, if it lines up, he'll do um he could do PA Nats, and then that'll be that. But we just have a lot of like basically like paperwork and stuff to do, and then once all that gets handled, that is the plan. I mean, he told me after, he was like, man, like I should have been there. Like I was saying I was literally like I just felt like almost like I had like my Infinity Gauntlet with 5 stones, but I was missing one. I was missing the Soul Stone, right? He wasn't there.
Soul stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't there. So, but I mean, we got it done. But like, I was just like, man, this is the meat for you, sir. Like, this is the crowd. This is the audience. This is lit. It's got the views. It's got the meet and greet. It's got everything. So we're gonna get him there. We'll do whatever it takes. It would be a crime if he didn't get in. Um, and I can only imagine what that would set in motion for everything and everyone involved. And then, I mean, I mean, 2024, if I could get him in there, that'd be amazing. No, it'd be 2025. Right?
Can you imagine? It'll be 2025. Can you
Yeah.
imagine 2024 Worlds?
I mean,
Delaney, Jurens, Russ. If Russ stays 83, I mean, maybe Russ goes 93 though.
where are we going for that? Where's that at?
That's a good question. Let's take a little
I
look.
think
See,
it goes
I know the U.S. put in a bid for the bench press world championships.
I would love Worlds to be in the US, but
The three lift. Well, first they're going to do the bench. Here's what usually happens. And remember, it's kind of like being reset, US being PA. They need to host a couple international meets before getting the big one. And Classic Worlds right now is crazy huge, like we're stressing.
But if we do it in US, can it be somewhere like really nice? Like I honestly I don't know any nice places in US. Like I live in LA and it's like yeah, it's cool, but like it's expensive and I don't know if people would want to come here. Texas is hot, Florida is hella humid.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Like
Compton, yo.
let me no.
Yeah,
No,
we're
you're
gonna keep it
not.
real.
Let me know. I mean, where would you have it if you were gonna have it in the US? Like where the heck would you have it? Like it's
A
while we have
lot
our
of it,
cities.
a
Like
lot of it comes down to too as well. Like for people listening, we think locations is in what's good touristy, whatever, but logistically, you actually need because this has become
Tina said Hawaii.
monstrous.
Hawaii would be crazy.
It'd be nice, but sorry, not Patina, but the location wise, the logistic wise, it's become so monstrous that you look for cities that the government will subsidize.
Yeah, help you out pretty much.
Yeah, because
US sucks for that. US sucks for that.
and this is the
You
issue.
can't even get a hold of them. Yeah.
And this is the issue where like Malta was able to come in the benefit and the help Malta got. It's phenomenal. And that World Championships, it's huge. These are huge, like international events. So when a city comes in, some people like where do you come up with Malta? Like a place in Malta because
the government helps out.
The financial backing they would have. So when we're thinking US, we're thinking nice location wise. The actual like when you're going to run it though, if you're going to meet
the city has to like help out. Maybe
you need help. You need help.
Yeah.
Either sponsorship like crazy. I mean, it is the amount of money now. Like if you tried to just hold it yourself, you could literally financially ruin yourself. You couldn't. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. You literally need like a team, not only just logistically money wise, but you need access to a team. That's why PA Nats is where it is because Alico's going to back it and they can help out. But like there's a lot of backgrounds. It's very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I know Rogue is here, right?
I
Rogue
mean,
is US.
Rogue.
I don't know if they want to be involved or something, but then we'd be using Rogue bars. I don't know. That would change it up a little bit.
You also gotta be careful if your PA and Alico is your main partner. These are things concessions you got to think
Well,
about.
Alico's got to do it then. Alico's got to do it here then, if that's the thing.
There's a
But
lot of
yeah, I mean, honestly, I would be cool with US or like Asia, something cool in Asia. I like Japan. I like Korea. I
like
would not mind going to. I mean, I've heard good things about Hong Kong. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, obviously, it has to be somewhere where like people can get to it. Um, have we ever done anything in Australia? New
um,
Zealand, Australia?
New Zealand just hosted the Commonwealths, and when we had on Eric Helms, Evie was a major, a major person
Thing for
contact
that,
within that
yeah.
as well, like working, judging in terms of like actually running and competing. And Eric Helms and a lot of people were involved in that and seeing how much it took. I think they said they weren't ready yet for a three lift worlds because it's
Mm,
just in remember every year the three lift worlds like this three lift worlds Joey is monstrous. Imagine when all the USAPL people come over. Like it just gets bigger and bigger.
yeah,
It's getting
yeah.
crazy. It's
Well, I
getting
mean,
crazy.
it'll be. I mean, obviously, only so many lifters can go, but that means more spectators, more people might come visit. Like it's a lot.
Well, the thing is, what I'm like the Sheffield effect we saw with all the other nations. If Russ and all these USAPL people come over, those other nations even more like new nations are onboarding every year. Like we have more nations now, and every year this is happening. So it's you're right. Oh, every nation can only send so many lifters, but look what happened to this world.
Oh, side note, I'm looking at the good lift page where it has all the meets, right?
Yeah,
And it says life will win over death and light will win over darkness. What did they add that?
some Star Wars nerd. I don't know what
What is
the heck
going
that
on?
is.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That just took me out of it. I mean, we're on a podcast, guys. We're just shooting the fucking shit over
That's
here.
right.
But yeah,
Plan from
I don't know.
the
That's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love a US meet. It looks like they had something in India, Brazil, South Africa, Hong Kong,
it'll happen. Like
Chechnya, Lebanon. Dude, I have a bunch of people going to junior worlds, but it's in freaking Romania, and I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about Romania. You know something about Romania?
I mean, I don't. I should. My last name's Romanian, but I've never been there, and I have
Really?
Lapadat's Romanian, but I've never been there, and I don't like. I don't speak Romanian or anything. But um, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's nice enough, right? They choose
August
Romania's
24th, yeah.
Romania has hosted before, like Europeans and stuff like that, or something. I forget which one they hosted. So usually, what happens before you get a Worlds, you've hosted something else. So you've hosted Eastern or Western Europeans or an Asians, and then you host a junior, and then you can make a play for a Worlds. That's why USPA isn't going to get Worlds yet, but they're getting the bench only possibly. I know they got a bid in, so that's the first step, and then after that you prove yourself logistically you can handle and make it happen. And now we're moving into like if US gets the three lift worlds, holy smokes. And with the news that's going to drop that me and you both know about coming down the pipeline that we can't talk about officially yet, but we know it's going to happen. There's some other stuff, major events that are going to be floating around that'll be ridiculous as well.
I
So
mean,
you
wherever that is. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Amanda today, and she was like, that's like the last thing that she hasn't done. So, by the
there's
way, Romania is one of the safest countries in Europe. Its crime rate is low, and most tourists enjoy a stress-free journey in this gorgeous country.
there, there's the script. The IPF just sent that to you right now.
Yep, they heard me.
It's
They
like,
hit me up.
here you go. But yeah, no, I was talking to the IPF media crew because they did the event in Romania. I can't remember which one it was, and they were saying like they were the Romanian, like the village and everything, or the town or whatever it was so appreciative. All the workers were so happy to have you here. Like it's so cool to have this international event here. So you're going to be treated amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, dog. We're going to see, and it'll be exciting to see who comes over. At
Yeah, I
like
mean,
PA
honestly,
Nats is going to be crazy.
I'll say this. Your body can only like when you're like 70 years old, you're gonna look back at your career and you will have squatted, benched, and deadlifted a finite amount of times. It will be a definitive, like that was your number in your lifetime. And you are only going to be able to compete at the highest level for so long. It would be, um, I don't know the word. It would not, it would be like you deserve, if you are at the top of your class in another federation and you are drug free, you deserve to experience. I'm gonna go ahead and say what Izzy said. People, Earth, the happiness that I experienced at Sheffield, I really hope that you can experience the happiness at least once in your life. It is that it is that insane. And you know what's crazy about that fight and that moment is right after that finished, I knew he was gonna say that before he said it because I know how bad he wanted to win that to conquer this demon. And for me, I said I wanted to win the first ever Sheffield with this team so bad. Like we've done everything that we can. There's nothing left to do. It's up to them to execute. We got to call the right numbers and that's it. And we did it as a family. And if, like I said, if you're a top lifter and you are just like smoking the competition, it is a no-brainer. It is a layup. It is right there. Run the gauntlet, do what you need to do, get over there, prove yourself, and try to make it. Try to experience that. It's not getting any easier. People are getting better. Juniors are getting better. Juniors are coming up. It would be, wouldn't it suck if like you competed, nationally and you're at the top all these years, but then you never could just quite crack in because you waited too long at that world level to make it to that next level. Like you could have at a different time, right? But then an injury happened, you got older, you got a job, maybe you had a family, whatever, and you never got to experience the pinnacle because either, I don't know, you sat on your hands, you just didn't like that's the thing, right? When the IPF and US when that we use USAPL and IPF split, I was worried because it got very political, but I know what the lifters can get if they take this route. So I was worried that because of that they would miss out on opportunities because of like there's just, like I don't know. At the end of the day, we just want to lift. Um, when I'm at international meets, I have like a blast. It makes me feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love seeing everyone. It's a great time. Everybody's very nice. It's a chance to connect with people. There's nothing like traveling the world, man, and meeting people and experiencing these things. It's so fun. And um I just think those lifters, those top lifters, like you just got to get over here, like experience it, try it out. Um, if you don't like it, you could always go back, but I think it's worth it to try it once. Um, I mean, look at John Hack. He won Worlds, and there was nothing past that at that time, and he decided to go a different route. What if there was a Sheffield? Maybe he'd still be here. Um,
Can you imagine that
I'll
what
ne
if
I never know.
bizarro world? That would be
I think I
crazy.
would have. I think he would have moved up to 93. But
Him
yeah,
and
I
Kaiko
mean,
and Gavin, imagine all that.
oh man, I don't even know. Like Gavin would have came so far down the line. That would be so interesting. That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's. I just think they should come try it. Um,
The thing is, like, I'll
uh,
say I'll say this. So like first off, like we'll get in USAPL
by
Max
the
is gonna
way,
be awesome too. But
yeah, I was gonna say, by the way, I love USAPL. I've grown up. That's where we did everything. Like that's you know, uh, that was like they provided like a playing ground for us, and I'll always be thankful for that. And I thought the split was the dumbest thing. You know what it felt like? I feel like I got these two amazing lifters that I love, and I know them personally. I worked with them for years, and for political reasons, they just didn't see eye to eye, and then like now they like hate each other and they don't talk anymore. And like me being the coach in the middle, or like let's say I'm coaching like a lifter and like there's a couple. And then like I love them both. And then they split and I'm just like in the middle like fuck. You know what I mean? Like damn it. Like I really liked you guys together. That's exactly how it is. I feel like I don't think it would ever happen. Um but I would love for USAPL and IPF to join again. Uh it just I don't like I said I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I think it was a terrible thing. It was confusing for the sport. There are a lot of young kids who didn't know anything else other than what they were being told to believe, and they just didn't know what was out there. They didn't know that there was a world. They didn't know that there was like a path to Sheffield. But I'm over here on my platform saying it, and they could have been ahead. Like the thing is, yeah, Sheffield just happened, but all these people are not going to be able to get into this Sheffield. They're gonna have to try to get in the next one. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that I just want everyone to be happy. I feel like all I try to do is like create opportunities for people. And this I remember having the conversation with Delaney and I was like, I know you want to follow Russ. I know you want to compete with Russ, but Russ is not doing this route. And there's a bag for you, man. You just gotta take it. Think about it overnight. Calls me the next day, said, Joey, let's do it. I'm gonna trust you. Does it? Boom, we get him all the way there.
Look at
And
him
there
now.
was there was a time when Jesus was on the fence. Amanda and Keiko were pretty much like that was it. Mikey wants to be world champion. That's all that matters to him. And so this is the route to do that. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's gonna be bigger and better. I think the IPF engine is just too big. It just has too much behind it. And when you have a lot of participants and a lot of eyes on you, big entities want to put a lot of money into making production better. They want to advertise their stuff. They want to create an environment, this machine, and this machine is just winding up. And I just want everyone to experience it. Um, Obviously, when you win over the years, like you're taking like only one person can get first place. So if you're constantly getting second or third place, you might build animosity towards that person in first place. But I would say to those people, like everything that we've done over the years was to create these opportunities. Like we've known of the rumblings of this, but to push for this, to make it as big as possible, to make it this, this thing. So, obviously King of the Lifts is huge. You got all different kinds of like audiences that watch, but just know that all my actions, like I don't pull people out of USAPL because I don't like USAPL. I pulled them out because there was an opportunity here. And I just want people to know that. And now that you guys have seen it, it's weird because like I know what's coming, but like I can't like I could tell you about it, but it's different once you experience it. But then once people see it, they're like, "Oh, snap. Now let me go get that. Let me go chase that." Um and yeah, everything that we're doing is just to grow the sport. This podcast literally grows the sport. Like us
Thank you,
pushing
sir.
Jesus hitting the high exactly. Jesus hitting the highest total ever, regardless of anything, any which way you want to do it. Set whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? For him to hit that is a monumental accomplishment. It actually like there'll be random points in the day like I'm like cracking some eggs and I'm like, fuck, man, when we came in the sport, I used to see Ray and those guys, like even those USPA guys, and I'm like, I would just think they're like just way the fuck up there, like no one's ever gonna touch them. And here we are now
It's
in
crazy.
2023, and I had a hand in helping this young fella do that, and it was just like like, and it does. I will say this about Jesus. Uh, I love that man. He is so respectful. We like relate on a lot of things. He played football. We watch similar shows, and like I love his family. His brother Pabs is awesome. All his brothers are great. They were at Sheffield, by the way. That was crazy.
Yeah.
They like I like it was so cool. By the way, they in the crowd they were great. They were so fun. But um, like for him to be such a good, respectful person with good morals to earn that. I mean, he deserves it. He puts in the work, and I just can't wait to see what he does next. It's gonna be some of the numbers that we've been talking about, I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't believe this. Like 2,600 will fall. Think about that. Like, what is happening? Where are we at? Like the girls are deadlifting 600 pounds like it's regular. Like we got 52s hitting 460. We got all these lifters like even the numbers that Russ hits. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, like we're doing that. You know what I mean? Like I know we could do it, but like we're actually doing it just because we have that history, Ryan. And I know you and I come from like just like different generation, and to see all these things happening now, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's if you think back to that time, this standard almost seems unthinkable.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems like
crazy.
unfathomable. And the kids of this generation, I don't know if they'll ever get the gravity of that
You can't.
because
It's
because it's all relative, right?
yeah, dude. We sound like I know what it's like when you talk to like people who come from eras before you, and they're like, "This is the wildest." You don't understand Sheffield and what's happening right now is all wild. And if you just walk in on this, some people walk in and they always heard about Sheffield because it was looming,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the craziest that it's here and all what happened is happening. Guys like Jesus are doing what they're doing. Like none of this makes sense. This is a crazy era. And as long as it's happening, ride this wave because it's probably good. It's going to get bigger and bigger. Gotcha. But I don't take nothing for granted, man. This is crazy what's happening right now. And I'm taking it all in, like awe inspired.
I sometimes get sad because I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have started sooner. I didn't figure it out till later. I'm not that young. I'm happy we're here now, but I didn't hit my best total till I was like 29. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
I
you
would have
mean it
loved
as an
to.
athlete? Yeah. Well, but I mean, the
Hmm.
thing is, so your legacy as a coach now. Like, look at what you did at Worlds and with Sheffield,
Yeah.
etc. I know what you mean though, where you're like, damn, what
Well,
if?
no, like I could have, like I got guys like I got coaches under me that are like 21, 22, and I'm giving them all the keys now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the parents, and they're like, "So who are you gonna pass the torch to?"
Yeah, no, they're trying to retire you. Like, hey, take it easy. I
Oh,
know you
hey
mean.
man, I can do this till I'm like 70. All right, chill out. But yeah, man, it's I don't have words. I feel like whatever, like I didn't know what I was gonna do in life when I was like 22, and I'm here now. Like I get to go all over the world with this amazing team that like I love each and every one of them. I have history with each and every one of them. I could pull up that first email where they tell me their little baby numbers, right? And they just want to make top 15,
Yeah,
right? And then they make it all the way. Um, and to see them go through all of that and compete, gratitude is like an understatement. Like, I don't know, I don't even know how to say it. It's just, um, that's what it's all about. I mean, I don't know what else I could be doing with my life that would be like contributing to. I don't know. I feel like my skill set like works perfectly with what I'm doing.
it's a. I mean, yeah, you've come the. You know what you? So I know what you mean. We're like, what if I came sooner? But
Hmm.
sometimes when you change one
Maybe it
thing, you
had to happen this way.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, you change one thing, you change everything. You came at exactly the right time. I still remember you
Hacking
posting
gigs.
John. I was just about to say, I remember you posting John Hack reached out to you and you posted his reach out.
Oh
Like talking
yeah,
about reach outs.
when he's holding the it was his first little. It was through Messenger on Facebook. Who uses that? Who uses Facebook? I use it.
I
I use
still
Messenger
do.
to communicate. Yeah, I use Messenger all the time. But he's holding a little IPF plaque for his records, and he's in a Flexx tank top, which we don't even make anymore. Maybe we'll bring those back. But um, and from that to,
Dude,
I mean,
you
look what he
came
went on to do. Look what he went on to do, even after he left and went to the other route.
like when you think about you arrived right then when in the first that happened around Hack Gibbs, where it was when I was running IPF Instagram and I did all the lead up with the IPF for the first time
Hmm.
we had that For the first time, SBD had a photo shoot with them eyeing each other down like boxers about to
I
box.
remember that. I remember
For
that.
the first
That was
time,
in
the
Killeen.
podcasts were for the first time were booming, and we had people on the podcast leading up to it too. Even like the for the first time in the live stream, they said, Ryan, there's so much hype there. You've been going on and on about this all week because we had the Masters and Juniors, then the Open, and they're like, for the first time, they put me on camera and said, do the lead into this session. And I gave the lead-in speech that I gave about the significance of Hat Gibbs. All the firsts, and for you guys to win it, Joey, I don't know if there's a better coming out party than that one. Like, if things happen for a reason, dog. You came at the exact moment to ride that wave. And you told me afterwards what happened to your business as a coach and everything.
It changed my life. It changed my life. 2016, 2016, I'm trying to think if there was anything after that moment. Because once you get to a certain size, there's little bursts in like social media, you go a little bit viral and it doesn't hit the same because you're already at a certain size. But 2016 was the biggest, like, it was like before, maybe 2019 too. Honestly, Gibbs, without Gibbs, we wouldn't have had, who was Russ gonna go after? Who was Hack
You
gonna
owe him
go
a dinner
after?
at some point, man.
Hey man, if he comes back, like we need the clashes. I respect my competitors, man. You need the clashes. You need that because without that, it's not interesting. It's not interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there, just like as a thought, and I'm sure like they're already thinking about it, or I don't know. Um, Obviously we have like Bob and Ashton, right? What if Keenan, and then I know Keenan weighs in light. What if Keenan put on like 10 pounds and he really started pushing the total? You know what I'm saying? And he started putting up these crazy numbers, and then it really came down to whatever. And then they announced that they're coming over to IPF, and then Anatoly's hitting like I don't fucking know some crazy shit that he's hitting. And now you got because you have that big international audience, and you have the US. It's always us against everyone, right? It's always US against everyone. And then you bring those guys together and you do this like mega thing, And I've said to Russ before, I said, this was like before like Sheffield and all that, when he was in like USAPL and the split happened. I was like, if an 83 came out of nowhere and he was like right there with you, like would that fire you up? And he's like, that'd be, you know what I mean? Like you need that. We need the conflict. We need the battles. And if you don't have that, it's just like, I mean, I love like Amanda Nunez is great, but like if she's just beating up girls, it's like who cares, right? It's cool, but it's not like the same as when she gets upset by Juliana Pena, and we're just like, what the? She's a plus 3,000, and the world explodes, and you're just like, what is happening right now? Stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I love Taylor. He's a great guy. He works hard. He has the persona of a winner. Okay. And I understand that because I played sports.
Fair assessment.
But if he's not healthy and one of my boys gets him, I won't know what to do. I like literally won't know what to do because it's like I see Taylor as, like I said, he was always that guy. He had like one more nationals win than Russ. He had like one more worlds win than Russ. And I think he has probably more now because I think Russ skipped a year. Yeah. But you get me, right? And he was always there from the beginning. But like I said, the ball's kind of in his court. Like if he gets healthy, I already know my boys are not there. They're not. It just really, I've already told them. I said, man, you just gotta get healthy and lock in. But bringing that up, I wonder what they would do to make conversation, even if Taylor wins, but one of the boys gives him a good fight. Maybe the overlords go, you know what? Let's run that back.
I'll have to see what happens, because Taylor's he's not going to be 100%. There's just not enough time. It will be a battle, and these fellas are closer than any other year. So if all years for him to not be 100%, this is going to be a dicey one. And then Baccalin's back.
which is
Yeah.
freaking in.
I mean, that guy.
He's one
Okay,
and one with
worst case
Taylor.
scenario for me, like just as a fan, if Bachman just like smashes everyone and goes like 8-10 and Taylor's not healthy and my boys don't get close, then it's like that sucks.
Can you imagine? That'd be insane. But
That'd be like what the fuck?
But it'll depend because Bachman himself has dealt with some injuries, so we'll see what happens. It's all who knows. It's all up in the air, but I think it's there's enough question marks around it that everyone's going to tune in and have to see. There's enough question marks this year that's like I have to see it myself because nothing can be taken for granted. It's going to be exciting. It also okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I got a few questions I was going to ask you. Okay, so first off,
hit me.
As a coach, what is your proudest moment so far?
Holy fucking shit.
That's a tough one.
Oh man, number one. I mean, it's weird because nothing comes close to that actual live experience of Sheffield just going insane and crazy like that. But my life is way more complicated now, and I have so much going on that it's hard for me to really like sit and enjoy specific moments. And I feel like, I mean, Russ always tells me there's nothing like the first one, right? I mean, I can name a couple moments that like I really stand out to me. It's Russ winning his first Worlds because we already lost, and we had to wait a whole year to come back and win that. It was John winning his first one because everybody told me that Gibbs is like he could just smoke us and it's impossible. We'll never win. And I just said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna still try. And I just remember the way that planned out. I don't know if you remember. John pulls 694. He's gassed. I've never seen him that tired. He's like, Joey, I got nothing left.
Knees were shaking.
And I thought to myself, like, whatever happens, I'm so proud of him. He came all the way here. He gave it his everything. Gibbs is a killer. It's in his hands now. He loads up 722 or 727. I don't remember. He gets stuck at his knees. He puts it down. We fucking win, and I lose my shit. Right. So that was incredible. And then the next one, what I would say is, I mean, and to any of my guys listening, there's so many moments that are like amazing to me. But Keiko winning his first one because we had gotten fourth place at nationals. We got fourth place at nationals, and then he didn't even make nationals the year before, or the prime time the year before he started working with me. And then he wins nationals, and then the world got locked down, so we had to do another nationals, and then we had to do worlds, and then he finally got that worlds win, and it was just like, fuck, I finally got that one knocked out. The next one I think is if and don't get me wrong, Jesus winning his first worlds, that was a great feeling. Everything that I love, oh my god, Amanda, Danny, everybody, like it's so hard to put it on one. But I think if Mikey wins his, I think that'll be the next one. That's like, fuck, man, I've seen this man go through everything. I've seen him go through juniors. I've seen him go through equipped. He's been with me for so long, and it's just been so fucking close, man. So close. Like that last Worlds where Emil pulls for the win, and it was a PR. I remember you saying like his limit was this, and he went over what he's done, and he still got it, and it was 2-1. Like it was one light away.
Yeah.
And to just get that close and to miss, I was at nationals because remember they had nationals at the same fucking time as Worlds, which was so not fair. And I just remember like we had the laptop out. I was in the session handling. I was literally handling lifters in the session. I had the laptop out, and I'm looking at it. I don't even remember what years this is, 2021 maybe, or 2022. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, like that hurts. That hurts, but that's what competition is. I didn't have hatred for Emil. I understand what it is, and I love that we have the opportunity to compete against the best. And like I said, I think when Mikey gets it, that'll be another one of those. Russ winning his first Worlds. because I was there and who it was against. Um, Jesus getting his last deadlift and winning Sheffield. Uh, oh, dude, there was a moment before deadlift where it was Jesus Keiko Delaney at Sheffield, and I was like, dog, if we get 1, 2, 3, I'm jumping out of this building. I'm
Yeah.
jumping in the ocean. No, but it's yeah. I think in terms of like in person, like just raw emotion, Sheffield. Um, but in terms of like, I don't know, Russ's first national win was fun too. But like I said, I think having lost against Gibbs with Russ, and then having to come back the next year, we got beat, like we got smacked, right? But then coming back, overcoming injury, stay healthy for the whole year, and just build on it, and then to win that, I mean, like I said, actually I haven't mentioned this podcast, but I always wonder how Sheffield would have been if it was really close and Taylor at like hits like what if he hit like 104% and Jesus hits like 104.1. Like that would feel crazy versus, oh, I know we got this in the bag, we just need to execute. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But then when they took his deadlift away and then they gave it to us, that made it like a little bit of struggle, a little bit of anticipation.
That was good. That actually added to the drama.
Added drama to it.
If, in a weird way, it made it better.
It's hard for me because like I'm sad for Mikey's deadlift, I'm sad for Delaney's deadlift, but I'm happy for Amanda's deadlift, and I'm happy for Keiko's deadlift, and I'm happy for. It's like it's always like a mixed bag for me. Um, I love all of them. I really do. Like all my lifters, even my lifters that they don't have no followers, but I have a connection with them. Nobody knows them. They have like 500 followers, 800 followers, and they tell me their little things about how they're happy about this, they're happy about that, or they have to overcome this thing in their life. Like, fuck, that's why, like, with COVID and everything, I didn't get to travel or do anything. I said this year I'm traveling. I've already been on like more planes this year than I've been on like in my whole life. Like, I'm just everywhere. So it's one of those things where, um, I don't want to miss those moments. I love what I'm doing, and I just feel like um another lifter that I'm excited to see compete in person one day is Sam, because she is so passionate, and like we communicate like English to French. Like obviously I don't know shit about French, but somehow she always responds to me like she knows what I'm saying, and she's very smart, and I know the challenges that she goes through, and she's such a sweetheart, and sometimes she has to deal with adversity. I just feel like one day, having all that history, and then for her to actually get it done, like one day if she's in the open, you know, she fills out that frame, right? And then she hits those big numbers. If she gets it done, um, that's gonna be one of those moments where it's like, that's the thing, man, because it's history. It's not just you inherit a god lifter and they just win. It's a struggle. It's the are we gonna be okay to do this? When Russ won nationals last year, we had an injury, like not that far out, and I didn't know what kind of Russ we were gonna get. That's when you get challenged and pushed as a programmer, as a coach, to like, you got to come up with the best plan to drive his progress without making that injury worse. And he was working with the PT, and we did everything we were supposed to do, and then Russ still won because our base was so high. Like he knew, though. He knew from that moment on the day. He knew that he was on. And I was like, okay, let's see what kind of rest we're gonna get. And I'm asking him like, "Are you all right? How's your pain?" He's like, "Joey, I'm good, I'm good." And he's like, got his music on, he's vibing out, and I'm just like, shit, I guess he's good. Obviously, we weren't our full strength where we were gonna be at, but he was enough to get the job done. And because there was that like, it's like in football, you don't know who's gonna be healthy, you don't know what injuries are gonna happen or whatever, and there's a lot of uncertainty because you're dealing with a lot more moving parts in that sport. But then once I saw his squat, I just said, okay, if I project his deadlift to be in this relation to his squat, and he squatted this on the day, then I should be able to scale that to deadlift. And, I could even take a little bit off of that, and then that'll be a safe prediction for where he's going to be at. And he did amazingly. So those moments, when you aren't sure and then you win. Um, like the morning of Sheffield, I didn't know what kind of Taylor we were gonna get. But then after squat, it was like it was like and it's weird talking about this like this, right? Because like I said, I like Taylor. Um, but he has. I told this to Tina. I said I like Taylor, and I want my boys to do well, but like he has something that we need.
Mhm. And
So
vice versa.
let me borrow this, Taylor. Let me borrow this. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. Um, but that's sports, and I would expect him to come for me. On the platform, come for my people. So it's, and I think through that, it's like when you have two fighters fighting and then they hug after and they shake up, because I know what it takes for him to battle all that. I can't even imagine like balancing like a kid. I mean, our dogs are fucking crazy, but Tina does a good job with them. Um, but it's hard because you can never you can't do everything at once. You have to like spread yourself. And it's like I wish I could be in Houston right now with my brother hanging out with Russ and the homies. You know what I'm saying? But I got work to do back here. I wish I could spend more time with my mom. I wish I could spend more time. I wish I had like unlimited money and I could fly all my lifters in and they could come lift at zoo and like I could come visit Ryan one weekend and like just what you know what I'm saying? Like I could just do whatever, but you got commitments and we have life. And that's like one of the things where, um, after after Sheffield, when we're all in the lobby and we fucking roam the streets and we can't find any food and it's fucking 2 a.m. and we're like, fuck it, we're gonna Uber eat something and we're ordering fucking like fried chicken burgers and pizzas and shit and we're just talking shit in the lobby. Um, those are the moments, man.
Dude, those
Those
were
are the moments.
those
And
hotel.
then you guys came in, and then you guys came in after the banquet. I was like, "Hey, man, they bamboozled me out of the banquet." And then you show me a fucking picture of my name on the thing, and I'm
Dude,
like, "Man, I was at the table with Jessica and Eric. What the fuck is this shit?" Like,
it's the best moments I have. Like obviously the lifting, all that's amazing,
Tina
but
was so sad.
the hotel lobby moments are phenomenal, dude. The hotel
Yeah,
lobby
man.
moments when everyone is in from all over the world is chilling in that hotel. You look
Dude,
around the world,
I'm like, oh, Emil's right there. Oh shit.
you look around the hotel
Uh,
lobby, it's like a world's representation of people and just
yes.
chilling. You could go from table to table talking to people from all over the world.
Let me go heckle Pete for no reason. Let me go over there. You know what I
It's
mean? Oh
crazy,
shit,
man.
Gaston's right there. Gaston actually came up to us and was talking to us. That's what he was telling us all the crazy shit. And I was like, ah, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that like that's what it's about, man. Those moments. Like, yeah, you deal with the stress, you handle business, and then I had that 2019 at Worlds with Russ. After he won, like his flight was that night. So we just went to a little like place, like a little bar place. We got some burgers, some weird Swedish burgers that had like sweet stuff in it. And we were just vibing out at the cafe on the water. And then he's like, "All right, man, I'll see you on the other side." And then that little dinner, that was my little celebration. And then I went to go uh hang out with Sean and Danny. But it was just one of those things that trip was funny because he went to LA and I didn't know. So when Tina picked me up from the airport when I got back from Sweden, he fucking jumped out of the car and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" He's like, "Yeah, my sister's graduating at a school out here. I just wanted to come see you." And I was like, "What is happening?" You know what I mean? So it was, you build connections with people over the years that you remember forever. And I'm just so thankful that I mean, who knows when it's all said and done, when we're all old and we've already passed the torch, maybe we help give powerlifting enough legs under it to where it could become this thing that kids can dream about doing and becoming good at in the future. Um, where they could really make a living from it. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm very thankful for the journey and it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I hope that it keeps going because at the end of the day, like when it's all said and done, uh, like I said, I hope that people listening can experience that happiness once and like you do all the hard work for that moment, that one day, and you feel the high of it for a little bit, it's on to the next one. Like right away, like this win doesn't marinate. We got like it, like we got worlds now. Like, and we're fighting for our lives in a lot of matchups. So I have to do everything in my power to get this team back there. Some of them, yeah, they're going to be back there. Other ones, we don't know. And I believe in them. I know that's very possible. And obviously, I want my outcome, but other people want that too. And that's what you feel alive in those moments, the stressful moments where, like, fuck, is Taylor going to get this pull? Oh shit, like, is he going to get that third squat? Is Mikey is Emil gonna pull that third deadlift? Like you feel so fucking alive in those moments. And that's what we do it for because otherwise you just like I mean not to like I don't want to like it's not bashing anyone. It's just I think society a lot of the time, people have their 9 to 5s. You just like you wake up, you do your 9 to 5. You come home, you sleep, and you do that, and you look forward to the weekend where you just get drunk, and then you just do it again, and like your happiness is kind of just like level, and there's no peak, there's no valley, probably have like, what I'm saying? There's like no ambition, there's nothing of like a higher. You just keep doing your job. Maybe you get promotions. You're still doing the same thing. There's nothing like invigorating. There's nothing that makes you feel like is do or die. I love the feeling of team to load 750 on the bar, and I'm about to go squat a weight that could fucking kill me. Like I imagine my knees just exploding or something, right? But then that adrenaline kicks in, and you're like, "This is what we do it for. This 1 minute on the clock for me to go squat that weight." And that is something that now with the body that I have and trying to deal with my ailments, that is something that like you can't take it for granted because there's already, like I said, there's only so many points in your life where you're going to be able to have that fight or flight response because of a weight that could kill you. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's or you're calling the third attempt. Like when I called Russ's third deadlift at that meet we did, I knew it was going to be hard, but I trusted him, and I knew that like the worst thing is like you call the third deadlift and it's done. That's it. It's out of my hands.
Yeah.
Got nothing. I can't do nothing now. They got to lift it. That's fucking tough, but that's what you live for. And if you win, great. If you don't, at nationals, Matt Gary was actually handling I forget I think it was a 308 weight class. And I had to play the matchup like I saw it was Matt Gary handling, so I was like, okay, this guy's gonna call good numbers. He's gonna be on his shit.
Yeah.
And I always tell Matt, hey man, it's always a pleasure to go head up. And his guy like hits his lift. I think he misses his third deadlift, which opened the door for us, but we were already behind by a good amount. So I load up like I jump like 40 keys,
Oh.
and my guy picks it up, and he actually locks it out. And I was just like, how? But then we get 2-1 with Reds, and the jury didn't give it to us. So, but that moment, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. My brother was right there. He was handling with me, and it was just, that's what you live for. And I'm gonna be honest, man. When Ray's there, obviously, like me and Jesus, we're ready for it. We're ready for whatever comes our way, right? But to see Ray there, because I know he's gonna be there with Matt, that's gonna fire us the fuck up, and that's gonna be. I know that that's something that Jesus has wanted for so long, and I think you will see like Jesus had fun this meet, right? He had fun this meet, but you're gonna see him. He's gonna have fun, but you're gonna see like a power that nobody has ever seen before. Like I just can't wait. I think that would really charge him up. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's my rant.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I got a few questions. Just give me some names for this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask these to you. Who is the greatest powerlifter to ever live and the greatest game day handling coach to ever live.
Oh shit. Greatest powerlifter to ever live. I feel like I would only be able to speak on my era, no?
You can do that. You could say from my era then. You
Because
could
if
add
I
caveats.
go back in time, I heard things, but I just didn't experience it.
Right. That's fair.
Greatest powerlifter that ever lived.
Let's say from your era from
It's so hard
wh-
because
when IPF went raw in 2012, 2013, and
yeah,
IPF like USCPL, everyone went raw at the same time.
of all time.
Well, current era. We'll change
Yeah.
it. Not all time. It's current era.
Current era. I mean, if we're talking like everything, like tested or not, I mean, it's got to be John, right? It's got to be John.
Good
Like
argument.
I can't think of like if we're talking because he did like if you want to count untested too, it's John, in my opinion. Um, but at the same time, the only reason why I'm giving that to John is because Jesus just now hit the greatest total of all time, just now. Maybe Tina's giving me a name right now. I wanted to say something about Jesse, but he only ever competed as a junior. But as he's the greatest junior of all time, I think he's the greatest junior of all time. If I had Jesus a little sooner, I could have got him there. But Jesse was fucking crazy. Um, Russ and Taylor are so dominant in their class. But yeah, if we're including untested, I want to say John. If we're including tested, I mean it's got to be like if we're just talking about wins, like pure stacking up like consistent wins. Um, I don't know anyone that beats Russ and Taylor. Like just the most amount of nationals and worlds wins like consecutive. If we want to talk about girls, I feel like the girls just recently changed hands. Like like some of the younger girls like started taking over. Amanda's very dominant. She's been dominant for a long time. It's such a fucking hard answer, man.
I know there's no right and wrong. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
I want to say all time tested or untested. Like short term, Jesus, obviously. The whole era because we got to count like history. I'll give it to John. And then Taylor and Russ are like right there because they are the ones who have shown up. Actually, you know what? That is something that just because they've been doing it a little bit longer and Jesus will get there. Uh he like they have more nationals wins and more open win like more like world championships. Was Jesus at 3 now?
he's got 2021,
Uh
2022, and Sheffield. Yeah,
okay,
he's going for three.
he'll get a 3 and that'll put him like that'll put him like one more worlds win than Russ. But Russ, I mean it's hard, right? Because we had the split and like Russ could have, like Russ could have
Same
won
with
too
Taylor.
and
Taylor missed one as well. So
Taylor
yeah,
missed
yeah.
one. So it's like all of them are in the same thing. One thing that I really respect is flying overseas, competing in enemy territory. You don't know people there. Those judges don't even speak your language. And competing at that level, you're not in your hometown, and you got to do that. You got to prove it to them year after year after year after year. That goes a long way with me. Russ does that. Taylor does that. Leah does that.
Amanda does that.
I really want Jessica to come up and push us because I like her and I think that would make Amanda excited. Um, Danny and Amanda was the most stressful meet ever of all time for me. But um, but here's the thing: the story's still being written. I'm gonna keep Jesus on up there until a Titan comes out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He's got at least another decade. He might get 10 in a row. He might get 10 in a row. Um, Sounds like a good goal to me, Big J. I don't know, but yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. Game day handler, of my era, game day handler. It's hard because, like, all right, I don't want to
I
say myself. I feel like it's
know
cheating. I don't want to
you.
say
I know you.
myself.
You're like, I can't say myself.
No, because like with Russ, like I don't make mistakes. When I'm there, Keiko's like, once we started our perfect streak, like he's perfect.
And the work you've done with, he was so good, never missing a lift in so many
Yeah,
key battles that were neck and neck
yes.
that
I
he's
just wasn't
pushed.
there for one, and there was a like miscommunication. Is just that's why I'm fucking coming to this one. I'm not. I don't want that shit to happen. So, um, game day handler, game
Exclude
day
yourself if you want.
handler.
Exclude
Game,
yourself and
yeah, exclude
say,
myself. I like. I think Grant is a phenomenal game day handler. He works for me. He's amazing. I brought him to Sheffield. Will is a good game day handler. Tina's a pretty good game day handler. But the best, it's so hard, man. There's so many good ones. Um, Matt is great. Matt and Susie are great. Um, fucking the best.
it's
You know
difficult.
what? You know it's a tough question to answer because powerlifting, and I've complained about this about powerlifting. You can only be so technical, right? You can only be so tricky. You can only be so um strategic because we have to work within the rules of powerlifting. It's not like football where you could fucking call a play that they didn't see coming. They were not ready for that, you know? I mean, there's been times like I'll just give you guys a little situation in 2019. Um it was Ashton, Mikey, and Bryce. Oh, and Amendola. I wonder what he's doing these days. Big bencher. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, of
Crazy
course.
bench, like
Of course.
585 bench, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to put my head in Ashton's head and say, okay, he's gonna go after Bryce, and I don't know if he has that. My best shot with Mikey is to assume he's gonna go for Bryce. First off, let's see if Bryce makes his. Assume Ashton doesn't, and Ashton pulls more than us, so like we
He's
have to go
going after.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to figure out what his second attempt was, assume he's gonna miss that, play that scenario, have Mikey pull for that. Sure enough, Ashton goes for Bryce. He misses. Mikey makes his. He sneaks into second. And if we miss, Amendola would have beat us, and then we would have got fourth. So it was like you got to be fucking. I'm so proud of that matchup. I'm so proud of those numbers. Um, I honestly think Grant is phenomenal. Like, it's hard because I'm with them all the time. He was doing the math on those ladies' numbers, the deadlift. Let me tell you guys, those of you that calculate deadlifts, having to know all the world record totals and the percentage of all of them, and doing all the different math equations for like, what if we pull this? What if we pull this? What if we pull this? And you don't know what the girls are hitting. It's a lot of shit coming at you at once, and people are changing attempts, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
That was a very
it's really
difficult
hard.
meet to handle.
Yes, it's very hard. Um, but I want to say the people, let's do this. If you come from like the teachings of like what Matt Gary teaches about like attempt selection, which for those that don't know, he handled me at my first meet in 2016. Um, it's just about checking your ego, taking what you have, knowing what the competition is capable of, predicting like what is your bet, like it's just a lot. Um, I have my spin that I put on things. And there are times when um I'm not gonna say any names, but for example, this last weekend, um I like to fly close to the sun and dare to be great sometimes because why the fuck are we here, right? Sometimes you just gotta go for it and you gotta trust your guy. Other coaches, they're so scared of failure. They're so scared of missing, right? That they settle for a safe call, right? Um,
I've
and
seen that.
sometimes that could bite you in the ass because like I said, if that big deadlifter has to PR by 5 kg and you are within 5 kg and they're gonna try, you never know. You never know. So, um, I mean,
I've
I'll just
seen
get,
that too, and I know
yeah,
what you
man.
mean.
You got to go for it. You got to go for it sometimes. I would rather go for it sometimes and fucking miss and know that I'm taking a calculated risk than like just roll over. Um, I don't want to just roll over, you know? So that's one of those things. Uh, best midday handler. Fuck, man. I'll just say it's like that camp, I guess, if you study that, because I know Eric Helms knows about that stuff too, and he broke it down on your podcast. He was talking about Gavin's squat, and he was saying like every kilo that he missed would have been $2,000 each, and that's why you like. I'm sure in the time Gavin was like, "Fuck that, I want to lift all the weight," but you win the meet and you get a lot more money. I don't know if you win the meet, but you have a better shot and you secure the record if you do the one down. Um, so the people that think like that, it's hard to say. It's hard because again, there's nothing that's happening in like that situation I described you with Mikey. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but um it's not rocket science. Like it's tough, it's fast. You got to do your math quick, but it's not like I used to play cards, right? You got to know like every single card left in another person's deck. You got to know what they could draw. You got to know all the different possible combinations. You got to do the statistics in your head. That's a lot more shit going on. So it's one of
Oh
those
yeah.
things where, and you got to look at their face and try to read them. So it's just a lot of stuff. For the midday handler, I would just say like I thought the midday handlers at Sheffield were great. How about that? I can't give you an answer for that
All
one.
right. All right. And do you want to play the name game, sir?
Let's do it.
Okay. So you can give me so you can give me literally as much or as little as you want. Sometimes it could be just one word, sometimes it could be two words, sometimes you could tell a story or whatever the heck. Well, kick
Mm.
it off, sir. Russel Orhii.
My guy, him. That's him. Uh yeah, man, he's him. I can't say enough good things about him, man. I've been through so much with him. I've gone to the end of the earth and back. There are so many times when we'll just be like talking about random shit and I'll say like, "Fuck, man, I'm so thankful to have you in my life. I'm so thankful that we were able to have the journey that we've had." Um That's what I gotta say about Russ. He's literally the guy. That's the guy, man. That's the guy. You know he's the guy. You fucking know he's the guy.
Jesus Olivares.
Oh, uh, brother, fucking like I don't even know. He's just someone who think about what a brother is, right? Someone that I care about deeply, somebody uh who I trust and I know trusts me. Somebody who I believe in, somebody who has um a bright future, somebody who has came from adversity, somebody that has good family values and morals, um, and probably one of the most honest people you ever meet. Um, he is a great role model for his kids. He is a great. I think he's an awesome ambassador for the sport. That let's say that I think he's an amazing ambassador for the sport, and yeah, that's what I have to say about Jesus.
John Hack.
Fucking legend,
Enough.
greatest. Yeah, enough said.
Enough said.
Greatest. If you do an untested, he's the greatest.
Sean Noriega.
Vegeta. He's a Vegeta. If he hears this, he will understand what that means. He's Vegeta. He's also somebody who I have a lot of history with. I feel like I understand him. I feel like sometimes history doesn't play out the way that you want it to, but I'm thankful for the good times that we had together, and um, I'm glad that he's still in the sport. He's he is and this goes for John too. Like you can't erase the time that you spent together, the years that you spent together, regardless of what they're doing now. And that is something that means something to me.
Well said, my
Yeah.
man. You can't undo what's been done. You guys have a
No.
history. For anyone
Yeah.
listening, a lot of people knew you were coach to both of those individuals, right
Yeah.
up to like, took them to world championships and the whole nine.
Yeah.
You got a deep
John
history.
John was a little over 2 years, I believe. Sean was almost 5 years. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that.
I remember, dog. I
Yeah, you
remember
remember.
those
You
days. I
remember.
remember. Jonathan Keiko.
Man, he is someone who, for you gamers, I would not want to drop hot with anybody else. He is a good friend, somebody who I know so much about. Him and Nina, they've stayed in my house. Uh, they are their family. Um, they are just people, two people. John is just someone that I care about deeply, and I want nothing but happiness and more blessings for him. That's what I have to say about John.
Gavin Eden.
Young Gavin.
Young
Gavin
young
Aiden.
Gavin.
What do I have to say about Gavin? Gavin is somebody, um, for those of you that don't know, I did actually work with him when he was in a different weight class. But he was in a very like tough life situation. And I just feel like also Flexx was growing like a lot. And I just feel like I couldn't be there for him the way that he needed me to. And um, so I am, it's like that's unfortunate, but I'm happy that he stayed in it. I think he has grit. I think he has that chip on his shoulder. I think I think he has a good future, and I think as a competitor, he has a good future, and I think he, what else can I say? Um, I just want him to, I know how social media can be. I just want him to always be himself and don't lose yourself in the numbers, I guess I'll say. Just always be yourself, stay grounded, keep good people around you that you trust. And I mean, again, I used to work with them. I'm not with them every day, so these are just like fucking general advice. But
Right.
yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
just make sure your circle's solid and keep working hard. And I think he represents that young, like go-getter, hungry, like almost like that junior lifter mentality that I feel like a lot of juniors need.
Eric Helms.
Wow. OG. I really appreciate all uh the content that he put out over the years. That was very vital. Him and his team, 30MJ, in my early like bodybuilding time, and um, he is somebody that I don't think the kids of today understand how much he's impacted guys like myself and my generation in terms of like just putting out good content and being grounded in the fundamentals. The book that's in the description of all my YouTube videos, that's all foundational stuff that a lot of kids these days don't get because people don't go over them. And that is ingrained in everything that I do in terms of like the science behind why we're doing what we're doing. But yeah, I'm just thankful that he's still here, and I'm excited to see what he does with Jessica. And I don't know if he's directly working with her, but I believe Gabby Martinez is working with 3DMJ now. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what they can do. So shout out to Eric. Keep it up.
Jessica Bittner.
I was just gonna leave it at one word, which she will understand, and just say full, Full. That's it.
Yeah, we know.
But but um, I think she is someone that I've watched grow over the years. She does very well dealing with the memes and the meme lord. She's a very disruptive person because she is, you know, she can have that headshot that we just saw, but she's also very like physically like imposing on like she's very jacked, right? Which is not like a normal thing for society to see, which is incredibly disruptive, and I love that. I think she is more of what we need in the sport. I think she is a compelling lifter. If more advice for people, if you base your life off of the word compelling, try to be compelling in everything that you do, it's going to take you extremely far. Although you have to be compelling somewhat. You can't just like pretend. You want to do compelling work. You want to be compelling in your relationships, all those things. But Jessica's a very compelling lifter. I think she's very disruptive. If she does want to move up to 84, I'm excited for that chapter. And, I just like she's fun. She's funny. Like she's very like she has a good sense of humor. And fucking Canada, man. Yeah, that's it. Jessica's
L-
great.
Last one, dog. Henna.
Big Panna. Um, what do I have to say about Panna? Grinder. He's a grinder.
That's fair.
Tina wants his central nervous system grind
Don't
abilities.
we all, man? Holy
I
smokes.
think he's smart. I think he is a good he's what the sport needs because he is very involved with social media, and he's good with his editing and making things informative. He's in shape. He presents himself well. Um, I hope he locks in and can get to Sheffield because I would love for him to experience that. Can you imagine his RPE 5,000 lifts with that Sheffield crowd? Him just sitting there grinding out a third deadlift for like 20 seconds.
It'll be like 20 seconds. I've seen him bench press 12 seconds with a clock. 12 seconds.
Oh my
Bench press.
God.
Bench press. Like it's insane.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good kid, man. Panna, fun fact, I grew up my mom dated a Frenchman, and he spoke French to me all the time, just like to try to teach it to me. And for whatever reason, and he was jacked. He's a bodybuilder. So whenever I see Panna and I just imagine his like capped delts, I'm just like, he just reminds me of like my fucking upbringing. But yeah, Panna's great. He is. I appreciate what he's doing for the sport. Let's cap it at that.
Yeah. Just for everyone, he's involved with SBD France, working with tons of social media influencers in France. Like they are putting together meets at meet directors like him, his girlfriend Anissa. It's insane what they're doing over there in France. They're involved with the federations, holding meets, money meets, and freaking their refs. They're freaking they're doing it all, man. It's insane. Listen, Joey, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, dog. We're getting close to 3 hours again. Holy smokes, we keep doing this, huh? But thank you for your time, my man. I appreciate it. We got to keep in touch, obviously, and I will see you in Malta again,
yeah.
man.
I booked my stuff. What day do you get there?
Well, I mean, I'm commentating every day. I think I'd have to double check, but I think I'm there the day before.
The
Because I don't
10th,
need. I think I
10th,
get there.
11th.
I think I get there because when does it start? I think it starts on.
I'm gonna be there from the 12th to the 19th. So Monday all the way through to
I'll
the
see you.
end.
I'll be there every day, man.
Yeah, man, it's
Every
gonna be
damn
good. We got a
day.
day off on Wednesday, right?
I know everybody's got a day off in the middle, which is amazing.
We gotta do
Especially for
something.
dude,
I know Jesus can eat, so we gotta go get something to eat.
we're gonna smash food. We're gonna do a lot all
It's
week,
gonna be
man.
fun.
I don't like waste a minute when I'm at these world championships. It's
Alrighty,
crazy.
Ryan.
All right, my
Alrighty,
man. Much
guys. Thank you for
appreciated.
listening.
For
Yep.
anyone, sorry, go ahead, buddy.
No, I was just gonna say if you made it this far, you guys are crazy and legends.
And how did they reach you if they want coaching, by the way?
flextrainingsystems.com with 2 X's, or you could message me or email me through my joeyflex7 with 2 X's Instagram. Those are pretty much my 2 main places. You could also just Google my name, and it should come up on YouTube. But yeah, that's pretty much how you find me. Appreciate that.
Okay, everybody, whatever format you're listening on, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and until next time, 6
Yep.
Pack Lapadat, 6 up, and we are out.